Olympic Games, Paris 2024.
With Tony Livesey.
On BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 9 of the Olympics. I'm here at the beautiful Chateau de Versailles alongside Sonia McLaughlin for the dressage individual final.
Yeah, this is dressage's equivalent of the show dance in Strictly, a freestyle test to music to determine the individual medals. All 3 British riders set to perform. Carl Hester up first at 10:35.
Yeah, kind of imagine an Andre Rieu concert with horses. That's kind of what we've got in front of us today. Tommy Fleetwood's one shot off the lead going into the final round of the men's golf, and it's the final day in the pool where Team GB are going to look to increase their medal tally.
Duncan Scott to retain the title for Great Britain. It's glorious gold once again, a first gold in the pool for Great Britain.
Team GB's men are currently in quarter-final action in the hockey. Sarah Orchard's watching that for us.
Incredibly tense at the Yves de Manoir Stadium. It's India 1, Great Britain 1. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. India have been playing for the majority of the match with a man down. They got a red card in the second quarter. This is a chance, of course, to try and get through to the semi-finals. India 1, Great Britain 1.
And as always, there are big expectations for the men's 100 metres later this evening.
Lamont Jacobs of Italy, a quite stunning success, 9.79 seconds, one of the biggest upsets.
We're going to bring you every Team GB medal live here on 5 Live. You already know that. You can follow everything on the BBC Sport website and watch the best of the action on BBC One and the iPlayer.
The Olympic Games, Paris 2024.
With Tony Livesey.
On BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, hello then. Welcome to day 9 of the Olympic Games. There are 20 gold medals to be won today. We've got the men's 100 metres final tonight. The men's golf will be decided as well. It is the last day of the swimming, and we have got exciting equestrian action. It's the individual dressage medals are at stake here at the Chateau de Versailles, the Grand Prix Freestyle individual final. I'm alongside Sonia McLaughlin. Thanks for inviting me to your gaff.
Thanks for coming.
It's pretty wonderful.
Not bad, is it? Have you seen my house down there?
I know. Turn to my. Actually, I thought I'd kind of be in the conservatory at the chateau. If I turn to my right, it's about how far away is it?
Oh, it's a good 50-minute walk.
I know. I
I
need a telescope. I can just about see one of bits of the extension.
We can see its cold turret at the top, just poking through the trees.
The home, of course. I've got to do this because I've swatted up the home of King Louis XIV,
yes.
the Sun King.
Yes.
Napoleon's holiday home.
He liked a bit of ostentation, did old Louis XIV?
He did. Even the what they call them, even the chamber pots were made of silver. Did you know that?
No, every day's a school day.
Did you know that the kitchens were so far away from where he ate, all his meals were cold? Did you? And finally, I've got loads of notes. But have you been in Marie Antoinette's Temple of Love yet?
No,
Okay,
Tony, I haven't.
For later, it's a secret cave somewhere in the garden.
Should we go?
We could
together?
do that later on. Yeah, that's fine. I'm doing nothing after 1.
I like your hat, by the way.
Thank you very much. It's my collapsible Panama,
Where did you get
which I'm
that?
wearing on top of my headphones, which is not a great look, but it keeps the sun off. This is brilliant, right? So we're in a 3-sided arena.
Yep.
Further down the Etoile Royale Esplanade in the grounds of Versailles, 15,000 people, and we're watching what I'm looking forward to today, the dressage freestyle. Give us a beginner's guide, Sonia.
Well, this is basically, we're going to go all glitter ball here, because this is, it's just like Strictly, because Strictly has its show dance, doesn't it, where anything goes, and this is a little bit similar. Because yes, the horse and riders have to perform some compulsory moves, which they get marks for, and there are also marks for your technical marks, your artistic impression, how you perform to the music. There are marks for those too, but the key thing here is it's all set to music, and this gives the horse and rider the opportunity to express their personalities, to basically put on a show for this huge crowd, and then all the numbers and the marks that the judges give get crunched into a computer, and we come out with what we hope will be a big score for one of the British riders and maybe a medal.
I feel as though the music needs ramping up a bit. If we were at Glastonbury now, we can be watching Shed 7. We'd be a fair way down the bill, because there's been a lot of Austrian classical music to my ears so far. Let's bring in Matt Hicks, British dressage rider, international dressage rider and trainer, who's watching with us this morning. Matt, hello to you.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Matt.
Yeah, morning. morning. Thanks for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. I'm the beginner here, Matt, but I'm enjoying what I've seen so far. How much freedom do the riders have to interpret this, to give their horses the moves and to choose the music, and how much personality can you put into it?
Well, you can put in as much as you can. You can. There's compulsory movements the riders and the horses have to perform. But ideally, the more personality, the more exciting the music is, the better. What we really want to see is, a lovely performance. The music building for some of the more harder movements, and the more exciting the music and the braver the riders are with their performances, and the more technical and harder they make it, the more exciting it is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of audience participation. The crowd are desperate to join in. There's a lot of cheering and clapping. Yeah,
the riders love that, and the horses really rise to it. And especially if at the end of your performance, the crowd start clapping and cheering. They appreciate, they're enjoying it, and if they're enjoying it, the judges will be enjoying it, and hopefully giving more marks.
Yeah, I'm going to be throwing a few just novice questions in as the morning goes along. I'll come to Sonia in a sec to talk about the British hopes. But Matt, in general terms, so I've watched a few horses going so far.
Yeah.
Can they interpret the different tones in the music, or is it all instructions from the rider as we're going along?
It's all instructions from the rider. I mean, a really good top horse, a really experienced horse that knows it's freestyle music, because these riders will practice this a lot, and it takes months and years even to end up with a brilliant freestyle at this level. The horses will anticipate the changes in the music and join in, hopefully, and then that's where the harmony and the partnership all comes from. Maybe a younger horse might not so much, but as they get older, they learn, they ride the freestyle test quite a few times, and they do listen to the music, and they pick up the different changes in the music and the sounds. So that hopefully that will happen on a good day when your horse is really on side and listening and really relaxed and enjoying him or herself. And then that's what you're really hoping for. The end result is they really do join in, and they know the music, and they enjoy being ridden to it.
Well, I've got that app on my phone that recognises songs. We had a bit of cool in the gang earlier on.
Some Adele, didn't we?
Yeah.
I loved did you like the Maximum Bella horse from Poland? I thought that was really nice.
I enjoyed the last rider who did an extended canter down the centre line and then halted immediately in front of the judges.
Yeah,
that was
a good
brave.
Movement. Yeah, exactly.
That was brave. I really enjoyed that.
The braver they are and the more technical they can make it, obviously the more exciting it is to watch. But then of course there's the risk element that it might not always come off. So that's that's where the competition part comes in.
Yeah, that brings the excitement. Matt, we're back with you shortly. Sonia, I'll come to you because we do have medal hopes, so you can take us through that very shortly. I'm just going to nip off to the athletics. The women's 100 metres title was decided last night. Julianne Alfred, she won St Lucia's first ever Olympic medal, taking gold. No rest for her though. She's already been in action in the first round of the 200 metres today, and there's no rest for our intrepid duo, Ali Kirbysley, Kath Merry. They're back at the Stade de France for us. Oh look, and they've obviously tuned into 5 Live. They're perfect timing, Ali and Kath. Bonjour.
Bonjour both. Another glorious morning, day 3 of stadium athletics. Nearly 80,000 in the Stade de France, and perfect timing, folks. It's heat number 3 of the women's 200 metres, and as you mentioned, Tony, Daryl Neita goes in this one, 4th in the 100-metre final last night, 10.96 seconds, just outside a lifetime best, missing a spot on the podium. And now she goes in the 200 metres, the first 3 directly to the semi-final. She's settling into her blocks. The big news so far in this heat is that Shericka Jackson, the Jamaican second fastest of all time, due to line up inside Daryl Neita, does not start. Julian Alfred, 22.41, nice qualification. Gabby Thomas, 22.2, the world leader, the American, also automatically through already. They're trying to get a bit of silence across the Stade de France. That's a hard job. Daryl Neita is poised in lane number 5, looking to make a top 3 spot to go to the semi-finals. And she's out well, Daryl Neita. A gap in the track, of course, with no Shericka Jackson, but Neita moving into the sunshine around the bend. The Dutch athlete, Yea's going well on the outside in lane number 9, but this is looking good from Daryl Neita. Such good form. She's going to win this by 5 metres. Nicely done by the all-time British number 3. 22.39 seconds. That's only 0.2 of a second shy of her season's best. She was disappointed to miss a medal in the 100, but on a few hours sleep, Alison Kirbishley is back and looked very, very good.
And it would have been a few hours sleep. I mean, 14 hours between the final of the 100 metres last night and her coming out this morning. And when you think about having to travel from the village, warm up, a good 45 minutes to an hour in the call room, that would have been a really early wake-up call for Daryl Neita this morning. And then to find out that Shericka Jackson, the great Shericka Jackson, isn't lining up. This is an opportunity that she can take. Both her, and we're obviously going to see Bianca Williams, and no disrespect to her, but I think Dina Asher-Smith and Daryl Neita now will never have a better chance of getting onto the podium, but they've got to get through these early rounds unscathed.
We're talking about the 200. Let's just have one moment's reflection on that 100 metres last night. The highest finish for a British woman in that race since 1960. I mean, that's a stupendous achievement in itself, despite the disappointment of 4th.
It was a wonderful run, and the thing is, Tony, Daryl Neita didn't really do anything wrong, so she can walk off the track extremely disappointed at just missing the podium, but she was just shy of her lifetime best. And as you say, Olympic medals in track and field are hard to come by. Olympic medals for British athletes in sprint events are hard to come by, and she ran a really, really good race last night. We've only ever won 2 silver medals in the women's 100 metres since 1896, and Daryl Neita just missed the podium. But this, in my opinion, is her better event, and as Alison just said, Tony, she has a real opportunity here. But we do still have Bianca Williams and Dina Asher-Smith to come, but Daryl Neita has just left the track, smiling, waving to the cameras, and looking at the British fans here in the Stade de France with a big grin on her face.
Lovely. And talking about a lack of rest and going again, that brilliant story from last night, St. Lucia's first ever Olympic medal. The champ had to run again today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And she came out in the first of the heats and ran 22.41, looking very, very comfortable. I mean, have you seen the footage of Castries with the big screen showing Julian Alfred's race last night? It was just fantastic, and it will mean an awful lot. You know, we made the point last night with her, and then the triple jumper from Dominica, a population of 77,000, and they now have an Olympic triple jump champion in Thea Lamford. Brilliant performance for her as well. I think we've got 8 different nations on the board, 8 different countries with Olympic champions already, and that just shows, you know, the global. This is truly is a global sport, athletics, with 184 nations. It's hard to get a medal, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. What else have we got on there today?
Oh my days, how long have you got? We've got
till the horses start dancing.
Oh my God, well the horses, they can keep warming up for just a couple of seconds longer, because we have 16 British athletes today taking part on day 3 in Stade de France. It is busy. The women's 200 metre heats, as we've mentioned. In a nutshell, we've got Tajay Adura in the men's high hurdles. We've got Lena Nielsen, and then later tonight the 400 metre boys start. Matthew Hudson-Smith, the fastest in the world over 400 metres, starts his campaign. Charlie Dobson is with him, and of course we've got the men's 100 semis and final. Louis Hinchliffe and of course Zarnell Hughes in that one. Keely Hodgkinson, Gemma Reekie, Phoebe Gillerback, and let's end the night with a little bit of Josh Kerr, Neil Gawley and George Mills in the semi-finals of the men's 1500 metres, all before we crown the fastest man in the world. Busy. But you know that, Tony, you were with us yesterday. You were lapping it up. We don't stop here at Stade de France.
I'm getting a real variety. I'm in Versailles today. Listen, back with you two shortly. It's mouth-watering. Kath and Ali, thanks very much at the Stade de France. Listen, talking of good chances as well, GB's men are in a quarter-final in the hockey against India today. Watching that is Olympic gold medalist Helen Richardson-Walsh and Sarah Orchard. And Sarah, you came on earlier on and said, we don't want to revel in India's misfortune, but they're a man down. GB have a chance here.
Do you know what, Tony? India with the score at 1-1. They're now 2 men down. Not for much longer, though, because it was a green card. That's only 2 minutes in the bin. So we currently got 14 minutes left of the 4th quarter. Helen, watching this with me, you have to say, considering what has been thrown at India in this match, they have done brilliantly.
Yeah.
Fair play to India. They have played, nearly 30 minutes down to 10 men already. They've decided in the second half to just drop back. So every time Great Britain are getting the ball, 9 players of the team right now are behind in their own 23. So that's the tactic they've gone with, to kind of just contain, be as deep as possible, and then when they get the ball, try and counter. Which is one of their strengths, actually.
And I tell you what, this is a little bit like what you'd say in football about parking the bus. This is what India are doing, because if the score is like this, Tony, I know you don't like nerves and you don't like tension, but if this goes the whole distance and we're still at 1-1, we then go to a shootout, okay? And that's where we're kind of back to level pegging, because a shootout is a shootout. It doesn't matter how many you had on the field at the end of the match. So India are playing this just to try and hold on for that moment where they think they'll have an opportunity at a shootout.
Yeah, I think, sorry, you've just pointed out why I'm not cut out for this job. I'm covering the Olympics and I don't like stress. The red card, from what I can gather, was well deserved, was it not?
That's over to Helen,
Yeah, no, I think it was, as I said before on commentary, they're very, very rare. I've never seen one whilst I'm watching a live hockey match. Yeah, exactly. And it was Amit who basically lifted his stick up and hit Kaunan right in the face. It was an unnatural move with his stick, didn't need to go that high. It's not something that needed to happen. So, yeah, the umpires, it went to the video umpire. They deemed it as deliberate, which meant it was a red card.
OK, well, look, let's just put us back in the picture. And how long left before the dreaded shootout?
OK, 12 minutes, 25 seconds. This is a quarter-final. India won, Great Britain won. So just worth remembering that Great Britain's men, they've not actually made those semi-final matches since London 2012. And you have to say this is probably their best chance they've had in that time. They've had a huge resurgence under their head coach, Paul Revington. But the Indians today, who have just had every decision go against them, are currently playing an absolute blinder. And all credit to GB as well. But they've had circle penetrations, they've had penalty corners. Nothing is going in the net. Their one goal was a field goal by Scotsman Lee Morton. Helen, I don't think we've actually discussed that yet, because Lee, I mean, he's had an incredible game. He really has. That's his third goal, and he took it so calmly.
Yeah, he really did. It was a little bit of a mistake by Sridhar in goal for India, who's normally, incredible and has been throughout this game. He didn't quite clear the ball, and it dropped to Morton just in front of him. And yeah, it's a tricky one. He had a fair amount of time and he had to kind of pick his spot, and he did really well. As I say, he's been playing exceptionally well this tournament. And hopefully there's another goal in him.
And talk about delayed tactics. The Indian defender currently on the ball has just stood still with the ball at the bottom of his stick, daring a GB player to come near him, because they just want to wind down the clock. And you have to respect India for playing like this, Helen.
Yeah, you do. You know, at the end of the day, these types of games, you just have to find a way anyway. And actually, Great Britain are down to 10 men at the moment as well. So it is level in terms of players on the pitch.
And here come India into the circle. We haven't seen too many circle penetrations from India because of the numbers they've had on the field. We're still waiting for the GB player. I think it was Rupert Shipley who was sent off, whose green card bin will be over shortly. And Liam Sanford is now casually making his way up to the halfway line as Phil Roper comes onto the field to run down the left wing for Great Britain. So we're still playing even numbers at the moment, but Great Britain will go up to a full complement in about 30 seconds time. Liam Sanford on the ball, gets it out wide. It's the Welshman Gareth Furlong of Surbiton who gathers the ball, sends it back to Sanford. Now you feel that Great Britain are just trying to construct something here. It's at the feet of the Indian keeper. He manages to bash it back out and wide. It's gathered in the end by Furlong once again. He's put up the aerial, but the umpire doesn't like it, Helen.
No, it was almost like watching basketball there. Sanford was just walking the ball up to the kind of the other half of the pitch, and India just dropping back deep. I feel like Great Britain need to move the ball with a little bit more purpose. India are just sitting deep. They know that. And at the moment, they're kind of going for hard balls into the circle. And India are dealing with it at the moment. I feel like they need to play in and out a little bit more, move the Indian defence just that little bit more, create more gaps.
Little bit of stress there for GB as India once again flirting around the edges of the GB circle. There was a little statistic that we saw that came in a few minutes ago on the screens, and it said that Ollie Payne, who is the Great Britain goalkeeper, has only made 2 saves this entire match. while as the Indian keeper, oh my goodness, Pratu Ravindran, he has made, I think, 11 so far, and that just shows how much that GB have been pounding away, but just haven't got their goal, Helen.
Yeah, I think it was about 10 minutes into the game before India even got into the Great Britain circle. So, Great Britain really did dominate this game from the first minute without the red card coming into play. So India, they're just doing anything they can to get through this game. And I think you're right, Sarah. I think they are trying to just take this one to a shootout, and that would be an interesting prospect. I think it could go either way.
Okay, if you're just joining us this morning on 5 Live, good morning. Yes, we've got all the coverage once again coming up today from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. We're going to have athletics this morning. We've got dressage on the way as well. Our focus, though, for the next 8 minutes, though, possibly more if we go to a shootout, is this men's hockey quarter-final. India won, Great Britain won. We're deep now into this match, and India, they got a red card in the second quarter, so they have played majority of this match with just 10 on the field. But Great Britain, they just haven't found a winner yet. If it is this score at full time, we head to the dreaded shootout. However, it doesn't always end badly for GB. You might remember, Helen, you were part of a very famous shootout, of course, at the Rio Olympics when you won your gold medal. GB will be well practiced in this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And because of the Pro League competition, that is almost like an international league that happens every year now. If one of those games finishes in a draw, it goes to a shootout. So there's a huge amount of practice that these players have had in reasonable kind of pressure. It's nothing like, obviously, an Olympic game, but, in front of crowds, in an international game, they're very well practiced and well rehearsed. And actually, as I say, the skill level of these players on the pitch, but also the two goalkeepers. Srijesh, the Indian goalkeeper, is considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But Ollie Payne is definitely up there as well, and he's making his name. He's still pretty young, Ollie Payne, but yeah, he's two great goalkeepers and fantastic players. So it would be an exciting watch. But let's hope we don't get there.
India desperately just trying to get into the GB circle. They're unable to do it. Appeals going up from the Great Britain captain there, David Ames, but it's been given as an opportunity for India to try and get it back and away. India, it's curious each time they have the actual ball as to whether they're actually trying to go for a goal or not, because they just want to be in control. You may see it sometimes in football where the player takes it down into the corner, is quite happy to sit there for a little bit. We're seeing a bit of that from India. It's all about winding down the clock. India won, Great Britain won, 6.5 minutes left to play of this quarter-final. The Indians won a bronze medal in Tokyo. Quite a landmark moment for them after a long time of being in the Olympic wilderness. They are the most successful hockey nation on earth. 8 gold medals the men have, but their last one was all the way back in 1980. They really are a hockey powerhouse, but their glory days are in the distance for now. They've come into this after a pretty good string of results, although perhaps not as high up the Pro League as they would like. They finished that 7th, and Great Britain's men, they actually managed to finish the Pro League this year in 3rd. I believe they were 2nd the year before as well, as we just watched Gareth Furlong once again on the ball just outside of the 23-metre line, passes it back over to the far side. Quietly here, GB building something. Are they going to get into the circle? Yes, they are. Big hit coming in by Shipley, but no, not to be. I think it was actually Jack Draper who managed to get the last hit on that one, a different Welshman. And GB, they're taking their shots, Helen, but still nothing connecting.
And the Welsh and the Scots certainly scored a few goals in this tournament so far. Again, that was a little bit better, playing the ball, transferring the ball from left to right, and actually managing to secure a shot from the top of the D. Draper, unfortunately, just skying it over the top of the crossbar. Would have been disappointed not to at least test the keeper on that one.
5 minutes of the final quarter of this men's hockey quarter-final. India won, Great Britain won, and here we go. Flying down the field come GB. Zach Wallace on the ball. He's got support. A big hit comes in this time by William Calnan. But straight into the keeper's feet. And you have to give so much credit to the Indian keeper, who has batted back everything.
He has. And that was great play. Different kind of attack for Great Britain. Wallace picking the ball up, nicking it in midfield. So a bit more of a counter, an open play chance. But Kaunan, unfortunately, again, skying it over the crossbar, didn't test the keeper. You kind of feel like this pressure has to tell at some point. But they've had a number of corners, like you say, Sarah, and India defending so gallantly. Can they do that for the next 4 minutes?
Okay, it's still India 1, Great Britain 1. We've got Helen Richardson Wilshere, gold medalist from Rio, is once again GB getting into the circle, trying to construct. It goes across the face of goal. There's no one on the other side to direct it in. Phil Roper can't believe that there was no one there. 3 minutes 55 seconds on the clock. India survive again.
Yeah, it's fallen to Roper on the right-hand side baseline, and he just puts it across the face of the goal. But there was two players there, but none of them getting their stick on the far post to try and put it in. Such a close chance.
This is tense hockey. Right then, it's in the D once again. They're trying to play for it. GB wanted a penalty corner there, but Sam Ward is looking at the umpire. He's shaking his head as he runs away. Not to be on this occasion. We should say that in hockey you get what's called a team referral. That's where you can go up to the umpire. You can say, I'd like you to go and look at that, please. I'm not happy. But the thing is, if you make that decision and it's an incorrect decision, you lose your referral for the rest of the match. And Helen, I mean, GB lost theirs very early on, didn't they?
I know, and that happened a long time ago. A lot's happened since then. But yeah, what happened was Sam Ward thought that it was a foot, but the umpire had played advantage. So Sam Ward went up to the umpire. He signalled the T that you have to signal, and as soon as you do that, the umpire has to accept it. And he said to the player, look, I played advantage, but I still have to take your referral. And it was a foot, but he had played sufficient advantage, and GB lost their referral.
Long time ago, India 1, Great Britain 1. 2.5 minutes of this quarter-final to play. If it is this score at the full-time hooter, we head into a shootout. That'll be when both sides select 5 players to go one-on-one with the keeper for 8 seconds. Right then, ball comes into the D once again from Great Britain, but it's not to anyone. It's gathered by India. I did just see one of the stats that flicked by us. I think GB have had about 23 circle penetrations now, whilst India have had 8. Those are big numbers to not have any more goals, Helen.
No, they are. And there's still 2 minutes on the clock. And one thing about this Great Britain team is the belief, actually, that belief that they can score at any point in this game. So, even if there's 2 seconds left on the clock, there's still a chance, and they will still be going for it, and there's still plenty of time.
You can see the Indian coach, Craig Fulton, down at the side of the pitch, just willing on his players to hold on, is what he's saying. They have done so valiantly, but what have this GB side got? 1 minute 30 seconds to go. India 1, Great Britain 1. Remember, they've had the extra man out in the field for over half of the match now. Ball comes back towards the middle of the field. Connor Williamson of Surbiton has it once again. They're trying to find a way into the goal. India have nearly every player now deep inside of the GB third of the field. They just need to make sure if they can try and hold it down there. 1 minute 10 seconds now left to play. Ball back from GB again. They cannot find the angle to get it into the circle. It goes long once again. Aubrey just trying to control it down in the corner. They're outside of the D once again. India pressing to try and get it back. Aubrey, that's a foot from India. Aubrey now gets an opportunity with a little bit more clean air to try and find a hole. Once again, India back into the GB faces. They have to retreat back over the 23-metre line once again. Connor Williamson, he then fires it across. 43 seconds or we're heading to a shootout in the quarter-final. GB 1, India 1. Back once again. GB getting desperate. India desperately want the ball. Not going to be on this occasion. Ball goes back. Draper has it. 30 seconds left to play. Still Great Britain ball. Nothing the Indians can do except defend here. They have done so well. It's in the circle once again. India have it at the feet. Penalty corner is the appeal. Waiting for the umpire decision. Just confirming, no, it's going to be long corner. It goes back towards the side of the field, comes in by Lee Morton. 10 seconds left to go. GB need a goal. They need it fast or we're heading to a shootout in the quarter-final. India have it at their feet. They just need to clear. They need to hold on. It's going to be all over. That is the hooter. What a performance coming in by India. One of their greatest ever performances. This match is not over. The quarter-final finishes. Great Britain 1, India 1 with a shootout to come, Helen.
Wow. Honestly, so disappointed for Great Britain that they couldn't find the goal. So many opportunities, so many corners, so much possession. But India, wow. You have to give it to them. You have to. They have played 40 minutes down to 10 men, and they have dropped deep. They've battled hard. They have made some good saves. They've defended really, really hard. And they have got themselves to a shootout.
OK, shootout on the horizon, Tony. Quarter-final at full-time finishes 1-1.
Great stuff. Helen, Sarah, back with you very shortly. We've reached peak Olympics on day 9. We've got a shootout in the men's hockey and a great British contestant in the Grand Prix freestyle individual final here at the Chateau de Versailles. It's Carl Hester as well. He took bronze yesterday in the team event. It's his 7th Olympic Games. Made his debut back in 1992 in Barcelona. In Paris, he's riding on fame. This is going to be quite special, Sonia.
Yeah, he is. They call him the granddad of this team at 57 years of age. Carl Hester is the thread that runs through British dressage. You know, Charlotte Fry mentored by him, Charlotte Dujardin mentored by him. He is a remarkable dressage rider, and he's actually saying, been threatening to retire.
If this is my last Olympics, Fame is the perfect horse for me to go out on. He is that adorable. He is. He's such an amazing horse. His owner is a friend of mine. She actually has 3 children, and she's really busy. And she said to me last year, "Would you like to ride him?" Because he is quite a handful. He's a full-time job to look after. He's a stallion, but he's a very talented horse. And you've got to be friends with him. You know, he's like he got quite nervous last year, you know, going to some of the bigger shows and everything. By the time the European Championships came round last August, he was just amazing for me. He really was amazing, and it was 38 degrees that week. We were competing at the European Championships, so that's really hot for the horses as well, you know, not just the riders but the horses, you know, think what they have to do. And he was brilliant throughout, and I finished in the top 10 individually. We won team gold, and so that was really exciting going towards this year.
Keep saying, if I retire.
Well, I have to say if I retire, because it gives me a get out each time. So I always feel like it's all in your head, isn't it? These things. So, you know, every you know, as all of my teammates will tell you, every games I do, I stop and go, never again. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't cope with the pressure anymore. And then here we go. But I have actually written retirement party in my diary for the Sunday after the games, thinking, you know, like, please, it would be a wonderful way to go out, especially if things go well.
That's Carl Hester speaking to Sonia earlier. He's in the ring now on Fame. Matt Hicks is with us today, international dressage rider and trainer. By the way, you won't miss a thing at the hockey. We're going to flip backwards and forwards. That shootout between GB and India in the men's quarter-final. Matt, by all accounts, this guy, you know, as Sonia was saying, is the thread that runs right through dressage in this country. What's his legacy if he does have that retirement party on Sunday?
Oh, he would leave a huge legacy behind. He helps so many people. He's so free with his advice. At a horse show, you can walk up to him and, you know, talk about your horse, and you know, even if he doesn't train you, you know, he's always so friendly, and he just loves helping people. So he would leave a huge legacy behind, definitely. But I hope he doesn't retire. This horse isn't an older horse by any stretch, and he's just such an amazing horseman, and this horse has got, you know, a lot more to give. But he'll still be about, even if he retires, training and everything.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Sonia is just getting underway.
Yeah, he's a tall, elegant rider. This is a bay stallion, so his coat is shining in the sunshine like a autumnal conker. And he's 57 years of age, Carl Hester, and a bit like Tony when he comes to Olympics, he doesn't like the stress. He finds this really quite difficult, which is why he's talked about potentially retiring. But this horse, Fame, he came in, halted, X marks the spot in the middle of the arena, the most perfect halt when he did his halt immobility salute to the judges, and he got that perfect. He's now, imagine this rectangular arena that is marked out by a very small, low-lying picket fence that's bright white. And we have various markers at points around the arena. And the marker A is away to my right. Imagine it's a football pitch. That's the goal post on the goal away to the right. And if you were watching on telly, and then marker C is away to my left, immediately opposite, of course, marker A.
Right.
Carl Hester going well. Let's go to the hockey.
Yeah, let's go to the hockey. Sarah Orchard.
Okay, right then, GB about to go in this quarter-final shootout. James Aubrey is just waiting for the whistle to get this underway. We've got 5 players nominated to go. They've got 8 seconds to try and beat the keeper, get it into the goal. Helen Richardson-Walsh is watching. You've been in this position. How's he feeling right now, Aubrey?
Well, he's hopefully feeling confident. You know, he's done the practice, he's done the preparation. They've gone through all their processes and he should be ready.
Here he goes, Aubrey, 8 seconds then, goes towards the D. He's on the side. Srijesh is out of his goal. He needs to get the shot away, Aubrey. He goes around the side, goal for GB. They lead in the shootout 1-0, but we are level pegging. Still India to go. Sonia.
Back to the dressage.
It's a fabulous juxtaposition. It's so 5 Live sport, isn't it? Carl Hester is just in the arena on this Bay Stallion fame. He spooked when he came into the arena in the team dressage yesterday, and he really had to try and settle the horse down because he didn't like the bell when it was rung. That's what stallions are. They can be quite hot. But Matt Hicks, this horse is going well at the minute, isn't it?
Oh, brilliantly, yeah. Carl's doing a great job, and they're really in time with the music and the floor plan. The performance he's doing is technically very difficult, and you know he's doing really well.
As he heads into a collected canter down in the bottom right-hand corner of the arena, and now he's going right up the centre line on an extended canter. This horse, mane beautifully plaited, his tail just drifts out in the breeze as he is now right in front of a row of judges at Marcus C. That's our goal mouth away to the left, if you like, as he does a pirouette in this cream sand, which is when the horse plants his back feet and then rotates through 360 degrees, and he did that beautifully as he's now in the bottom left-hand corner of the arena, and now he is doing flying changes on an angle going from bottom left of the arena to the top right of the arena, and this is where the horse changes his lead leg from one to the other as if he was suspended in the air without then having to go from canter down to trot, as he's now in the opposite goal mouth, if you like, at marker A, and he does a pirouette in the sand at 360. Matt, what did you make of those transitions and the different movements?
Yeah, the flying changes, as you just beautifully described them, where the horse is skipping along to the music, were really good on the music, and the pirouettes as well. He rode them very small. They were very technically correct. Really, really good.
Yeah, and he's just doing another pirouette now as we pirouette off to the hockey.
It is now 2-1 to GB in the hockey, Sonia. Zach Wallace, he's managed to get his goal, and we now just have to wait for India to try and level this to keep this at the same. Helen Richardson-Walsh also watching a stunning goal by the Indian captain Harmanpreet to level.
Yeah, it was really nice. Just took Ollie Payne to his right-hand side a little bit and then did a spin and got it in. And Wallace, again, took it to the left-hand side, but this time went on his reverse and just dinked it under the flying Srijesh.
Waiting for India to level, but back to the dressage.
As Carl Hester does another pirouette into a steady trot. Just this horse is going really well as we head to more I love the flying changes as he goes from one leg to the other, skipping. He's in the top right-hand corner of the arena, swinging around on the left rein, and he's now coming towards us along the long side nearest to us. More flying changes, but this time on the different diagonal. This horse is riding beautifully. Remember, Carl Hester, he's got 4 Olympic medals. No man is more experienced for Great Britain at these games. This is his 7th Olympic Games. He's already got 4 medals now. And we like the music.
Mary Hopkins.
Yes.
Mary Hopkins.
He said to me before we came to the games, you're going to like the music. They've got a few surprises in there. And he's now doing a piaf, which is the trot on the spot to Mary Hopkins. And
or is
these
it Claudia
are
Rogers?
Tony can do the music, I'll do the dressage. He's doing this passage into piaf. Matt, this is difficult, passage into piaf. Explain to people.
Passage is where the horse is pushing from behind, trotting with energy but very high, which Carl's showing us brilliantly. And the piaf is more of a collective movement where the horse takes weight on the hind leg and keeps trotting, keeps moving, but has to take the weight behind and lower its back end. But that was brilliant.
Oh, he loved it. And he had the most beautiful halt right at the end, and when the horse halts in the very final movement, all 4 legs must be square in the sand. If there's a hoof back or don't like that, it's messy. And he did that beautifully. So we now await the scores for Carl Hester and Fame. And Mary Hopkins or
was Mary Hopkins?
Mary Hopkins.
Mary Hopkins singular.
We'll come back for the scores. Sarah.
Williamson has just missed in the penalty shootout. He aired the bar over the top, so India now have a chance to go ahead. I mean, the pressure on these players. Helen Richardson-Walsh just showed there with Williamson.
Yeah, he's taken it in again. He's taken it to the left-hand side like most of the players do. He's gone for a full-on big backhand swing, and it's just high and wide. So much pressure. But, you know, it's really hard to score in these one-on-one. 8 seconds for them to score, so plenty of opportunity still.
So in this men's quarter-final, it finished 1-1 at full time between Great Britain and India. India now have a chance to go forward and try and lead in the shootout. There will be 5 who take it. Here we go. Lalit Kumar now takes his run up. A chance for him to put India ahead. Approaches Ollie Payne, the GB keeper. Oh, the most casual goal underneath the stick of Ollie Payne. That's stunning, Helen.
Yeah, it's just... the skill level is just so high. He's just, again, taking it just slightly to his left-hand side. But instead of going big drag, he's just little drag, and it's kind of caught Payne unawares, and he's flicked it with his reverse stick before Ollie Payne thinks he's going to, and he's managed to get it under Payne's stick and into the goal.
India lead 3-2 in the shootout. It's all about hockey and horses, Sonia.
I like what you did there. Carl Hester has gone into gold medal position as he leaves the arena on this stunning Bay Stallion Fame. His mark, 85.161, comfortably goes into the lead, beating the previous mark of 83.
Phil Roper now going forward for Great Britain in the hockey. They're a goal down. He has to get this, Roper, or it's going to be the most tense. It's been saved! It has been saved. Great Britain are now 2-3 down, and that means India, if they get this next goal, they will be into the semi-finals. It has all gone wrong for GB today. They had so much opportunity, so much chance. They have not been able to take it, Helen.
Oh, this is hard. This is really hard. Roper, again, going to his left-hand side and trying to get a really good hit. He strikes it well, but it's a nice height for Srijesh. He's expecting it, and he manages to get it with his glove, and his celebration is something else.
This was the Olympic Games where we were meant to be talking about Great Britain men's hockey players. They came into this second in the world, but India could well be about to knock them out and head into the semi-finals. If they get this goal, it is all over. Here we go, going forward, it's Raj Kumar straight in front of Ollie Payne. The pressure all on the youngster. Still Kumar going, he gets his goal, and India are through to the semi-finals. Great Britain are out. They had so much chance, so much opportunity, but this is one of India's greatest days on a hockey pitch. They had a red card in this match. They played out the majority of it with one less on the field. They parked the bus, they took it to a shootout, and they have knocked out Great Britain. Helen.
This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. I mean, as I keep saying, fair play to India. The pressure on them, how they've had to dig deep and find something else to win this game, but I'm speechless. I can't understand how they've managed to pull this one off. Great Britain men's team, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt for a long time, because as we've been saying, they had players up. They've had so much opportunity, and I really feel for the boys. This is a tough one.
India win the quarter-final on a shootout. They will play Germany or Argentina in the semi-finals on Tuesday. It is all over for Great Britain's men. In the hockey, it's now down to Great Britain's women. They go in the quarter-finals against the 4-time gold medalists, the Dutch, tomorrow.
Yeah, really sad to hear that. Helen, just something struck me earlier on. You said you'd never seen a red card, and so GB were up against one man less for most of that game. Would that be a position they would ever have practiced for, playing against a low block, you know, as you see in football?
Yeah, I think, yes, they would have practiced enough, not necessarily with the fact that they were, you know, playing against a team with a player down, but some nations that they do come up against will defend deep. And they have to work the ball. They know how to work those opportunities. So not necessarily a player down for that long period of time, but there's plenty of green cards and yellow cards in hockey matches, so they would have had plenty of opportunity to know what to do and how to work the ball to make their opportunities count.
Well, look, I'm sure we'll hear from the guys later on, but I can imagine their disappointment. Sarah and Helen, thank you very much for now. Team GB then out of the men's hockey, you heard there in dramatic style, to India. Here at the Palace of Versailles, we're watching the Grand Prix freestyle individual final in dressage. Horses in perfect rhythm with their rider and some lovely tunes as well. We heard a bit of Mary Hopkin. Do you see how I got that instantly?
You did, very good. I knew you'd be good for the music choices, to be honest.
Only when it's from 1970s Eurovision. Anything else, I'm absolutely stuffed. So that was Carl Hester, the veteran. We've established that, I think, 57 years of age. 7th games. Matt Hicks was watching.
And he's now in gold medal position. So that was really good for he made a couple of mistakes in the team final that cost Britain, and he has come out here and done really well, nailed down a score of 85.161 to lead. But I should stress there are some really big guns to come.
Well, that was going to be my question to Matt Hicks, actually, who's with us alongside as international dressage rider and trainer. Matt, you've seen it all. Is that enough, do you think, from Carl Hester to get him a medal at least?
Well, it'd be amazing for him to be in the medals. I mean, we'd all love Carl to win a medal. I'm not sure if it would quite be enough for gold. There are some amazing ones to come, but he did do a fantastic job. And I mean, the horse, grew and grew with confidence as the test went on. So they're still going to have to go some to beat that.
He got first 10s of the competition. Brilliant. 2 of them for the judges for his music and interpretation.
Yeah, that was very clever. Yeah,
it was good. So that's the first time the judges have gone. It's the strictly equivalent of going 7. Yeah. If you get 10s,
exactly. Yeah.
Top score.
Yeah, and Matt, again, just that interview Sonia did with him when he said he's got his retirement party penciled in, and
he keeps saying that.
Yeah, can he do another one? Give us an idea of just how much dedication is required to get a horse to this level.
Oh, it takes years. I mean, it's on average, it takes about 8 years to get a horse to this level, and that's all going well. No lamenesses, no big breaks. People's, it does take a long time to get the horse's trust, teach them all the individual movements. They've got to be fit, they've got to be trained like athletes, and it's a huge dedication. But we love the horses, and every day is every day is different when you're training horses. It's great. It's a brilliant life.
And just a horsey question. So you and Sonia can chat about this, Matt, but I'll come to you first. Does a horse know somehow when he's in a competition as opposed to just training at home? I mean, will he react to it's a massive arena here, 15,000 people?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they know exactly when they're at a show. They know the difference, and they're like humans. You got to try, and you want the adrenaline, you want the excitement, but they mustn't get too excited and take over. And you don't really want nerves to kick in. They got to look relaxed, but they've also got to be very powerful and very expressive. So it's a very, very, very fine line.
To be honest, Tony, the second the horse is put in a horse box, he knows he's going to a show.
Oh. No, that's interesting.
And they know the second that lorry comes out that they're off somewhere, and that their adrenaline goes just as it does if for any track and field athletes standing on the start blocks, and particularly what's notable here, Matt, is a lot of these dressage horses are stallions.
Yes.
Which also brings Fame is a stallion, so it also brings in another degree of difficulty for the rider when they're trying to deal with all of this 15,000 crowd and the flags and judge. And so when the bell went to signify you've got 45 seconds to get into the arena, Fame spooked yesterday in the individual test, and Carl said it took him a while to then get this stallion to settle down.
To settle down again, yeah, just disturbed him a little bit, and Carl needed to hold his nerve, which he's amazing at, and he gave the horse confidence, and the horse trusts Carl. So luckily he got it back. But there are cases where some riders wouldn't have got the horse's concentration back, and that could have been a real disaster.
This, we're going to the athletics now, but the music choice is interesting me. We had Carl Hester with Mary Hopkin. This rider now, he seems to be dancing to a what I can only describe as a theme tune to a spy thriller on Netflix. It's weird. Right, we've got 2 more Brits to go in the dressage. Looking forward to that. Let's go back to the athletics, though, at the Stade de France. The heats have been taking place in the women's 200 metres. So after failing to make the 100 metres final, Dina Asher-Smith was in lane 8 of this last heat for the 200 metres. Kath Merry's here with the commentary.
It's a clean start, and it's a good start by Asher-Smith in lane number 8. Absolutely flying around the bend. She's going to swing into the straight, the British record holder, with a 5-metre lead. She's running on disappointment, maybe a little bit of anger, but she's shutting down now, Dina Asher-Smith. She's going to automatically qualify for the semi-finals. 22.24 seconds. Favour Afili of Nigeria was in a photo finish with Dina Asher-Smith out of lane number 2. But all 3 Brits, Daryl Neita, Bianca Williams and Dina Asher-Smith, have made it through automatically to the semi-finals. Asher-Smith clocking 22.28 seconds in second place.
That's Kath Merry, who joins us now from the Stade de France with Ali Kirbissi. Kath, that sounded like no nonsense, get the job done.
Oh, 100%. Like I said in the commentary there, Tony, you know, she's probably running on anger and disappointment, being knocked out in the semi-finals of the women's 100 metres, seeing another British athlete just miss the podium in that women's 100 metre final would have put fire in Dina's belly this morning. But she always runs a good bend. It's the back end of a 200 metre race where she needs to hold her form, but she didn't need to do that today. She swept into the home straight, shut it down and looked very, very good, and therefore was one of the quickest qualifiers. She's the 3rd quickest qualifier going into the semi-finals, and it was good that she and Daryl Neita and Bianca Williams have got through as well. But she looked good this morning off the back of the disappointment.
Yeah, you've mentioned the 3 there. Are they genuine medal hopes? I mean, for the non-athletic expert, what are our chances?
I think, certainly Bianca Williams ran well, but no disrespect to her. I think I'll be talking up Daryl Neita and Dina Asher-Smith, definitely. There's never going to be a better opportunity, I don't think. As soon as we saw the did not start, the DNS on Sharika Jackson's lane, coming here as world champion, coming here as definitely the favourite, deciding to just focus on the 200 metres, but obviously that decision was clearly made because she was carrying an injury. I think she picked it up in a race just recently in Hungary, and she obviously has not recovered, sadly. She was pictured in warm-up looking very, very disappointed. So with her absent, I really do not think there's going to be a better opportunity. Brittany Brown from America looked good, but our own Dina Asher-Smith beat her into silver medal position when Dina took the world title back in 2019. And I think, you know, like Kath said, she definitely was running on anger this morning. She attacked that bend and did what she needed to do. You know, kind of times go out the window, don't they, Kath? We look at that, you know, we've got Dina Asher-Smith 3rd quickest going into the semi-final, Daryl 5th quickest, but Julian Alfred, I mean, you know, when you add, I'm the Olympic champion in 100 metres, we've seen it done before. Elaine Thompson-Herah's done it before. She's got a great opportunity to take both sprints.
100%. In a nutshell, Tony, yes, there is a medal up for grabs here for either Dina Asher-Smith or Daryl Neita. But Julian Alfred, the 100-metre winner last night, Gabby Thomas, the world leader, the fastest qualifier from the USA, are deadly. But yes, there is an opportunity for our girls if they can get through the semi-finals, which we expect them to do.
Good stuff, Kath, Ali, thank you. Back with you, Anon, here at the dressage freestyle at the Chateau de Versailles. I feel, Sonia, we've bonded over this next couple. Every time we've talked during the Olympics, we've mentioned Becky Moody and Jägerbomb, and here they are.
And doesn't he look magnificent? That big bay gelding. He's, again, the colour of an autumnal conker. Oh!
Bit of Tom.
And she's got us all engaged already because she's coming down the centre line, entering A. Interesting. Just doing the halt right at marker A. This is Becky Moody and Jägerbomb, 44 years old, and she will be on cloud 9 right now because she was obviously the alternate rider after the story that unfolded around Charlotte Dujardin. And she won a bronze medal with the team yesterday, her first ever Olympic medal for the 44-year-old from Barnsley, who's bred this horse herself. So the bond between horse and rider here will be exceptionally strong. Matt Hicks is with us. Matt, what are your hopes for Becky Moody and Jägerbomb?
Oh, hopefully she'll do the test of her life. I mean, this is a massive occasion for her, and this horse is relatively inexperienced actually for this level, and she's really rose to the occasion the last few days. She's done so well, and I mean the start of her test then was technically very difficult, great music, and she carries on like this, she's going to do really well.
Yeah, we're loving a bit of Tom Jones. We wonder what choices the British riders will go for. We're not given, in advance, we're given the tests for both the qualifying round for the individual and the team, and then the final for the team. We're given the tests. We don't know what these tests are because this is freestyle, so this all comes as a big surprise to us. As she is just along the long line, closest to us at the moment, heading towards Marcus C, which is, if you imagine the football pitch, it's the goal mouth away to the left, just in front of 3 judges, as she goes into a collected, and now she's doing this extended trot right across. Oh, I love these music choices. More Tom Jones with a bit of sex bomb. She's now in the bottom right-hand corner of the arena, just doing an extended trot, which is when the horse just sort of flicks his front legs out. Now, what's she doing here? This is a sort of shoulder in, it's called, isn't it, Matt?
No, it's called a half pass.
Half pass, sorry, my mistake.
It's when the horse is trotting sideways with bend. What the judges will want to see is bend through the body, which Becky's displaying brilliantly, and the horse's front legs are reaching sideways and the hind legs are crossing.
So you're basically moving sideways and forwards at the same time.
Exactly.
Now, more Tom Jones. I think my first question in interview me, are you a Tom Jones fan, Becky Moody?
Not unusual.
She's showing us an amazing Piaffe there on the spot. That will be scoring very high at the moment.
Yeah, now Piaffe, to remind people, is that highly collected trot on the spot,
yeah,
where the horse is lifting its knees up, so it's in a very elevated movement as she now heads towards the bottom right-hand corner of this arena. And Tom Jones just eases down a bit, as does Becky Moody, into a simple walk. She's now in the top right-hand corner of the arena. Oh, the horse just breaks out of that walk into a little bit of a trot. That will be marked down as she comes away from the top long line. She's now on a diagonal going across the arena. This is just showing the horse is listening to her, is coming back to a simple walk. She's got her reins are long, so she gives the horse his neck and just says, go on, you just stretch your neck out a little bit for me.
Green grass of home.
This is great, isn't it?
This one, yeah.
Yeah, as she heads into a canter. Oh, we've got Tom Jones all the way here. We're loving this. There are lots of British fans here in the crowd with their Union flags. So towards the end of this test, I can bet your bottom dollar they are going to be cheering her on. Now, this is the flying changes on the diagonal as she heads towards the bottom right-hand corner of the arena. Just how difficult are flying changes, Matt?
They're really difficult to teach a horse to fly and change them. What Becky's just done then is 2-time changes on a circle directly into 1-time changes, and that is a really hard thing to do without a single mistake. She did that brilliantly.
A reminder to people that this is 16 compulsory elements. There are 5 artistic marks which have a coefficient of 4. It gets all very mathematically complicated, but basically we end up with one overall percentage. So every single movement is marked out of 10, 10 being excellent, 0 less so. Now what's she doing here? Matt?
So that was a single pirouette. Now she's doing a canter half pass.
Canter half pass.
Yeah, and this is where the horse again is how she did it in trot. But obviously she's just she's gone up a gear. She's in canter, and I mean she's doing this is so exciting. She's doing such a great job.
Oh, now we're doing my favourite, the extended trot across the arena on a diagonal. The horse clicking his legs out. It's a bit like a gymnast pointing their toes as she does it to Sex Bomb and Tom Jones. Oh, now she's doing the passage again to Tom Jones. So this is the horse doing this highly elevated trot. Now the crowd are getting involved and getting behind Becky Moody of Great Britain and Jägerbomb as she heads towards this sort of end of her test. She's going really well. Now she does the Piaffe on the spot. That's that extended trot where you are literally, the horse is just trotting but not moving. What do you think of this final? She's coming towards the end of her test here, Matt. What are you thinking?
This is really good.
It's really good, isn't it?
Really good to the music, and the horse. I give credit to him because he can be quite tricky. Jägerbomb, where his name comes from, he's really appreciating the crowd getting behind him and clapping. And apart from the little tad bit of tension in the walk, he's done so well.
Yeah, these horses love to. Oh, here she comes down the centre line to Sex Bomb by Tom Jones. The horse in the extended trot. That wasn't the best halt, but overall, that was high class, wasn't it, Matt, from Becky Moody?
Really high class. She's a good girl. She's done an amazing job out in Paris, and that was a really difficult performance, technically difficult. She did really well.
And we loved her music choices.
Yeah,
Who's
music was great.
Who's not going to love? I mean, from a British perspective, who's not going to love a bit of Tom Jones?
Yeah,
it beats the sort of the Euro pop, doesn't it,
yeah,
Tony?
It does.
No, I love that. She's really whipping the crowd up as well. There are loads of Brits here in the
there's lots of Union flags away to our left. Flying the flags. We're just away now. Of course, her teammate Carl Hester is currently in gold medal position on 85.161. Has she done enough to knock him off his perch? As she just sort of starts to leave the... Oh, has she done it? Has she done it? The crowd have gone mad. I can't see the scores here at the minute. It hasn't come up on our computer. The crowd seem to know something that we don't hear. Or maybe it's just because I think they're giving her... They've got a bit closer to the... I think she's just got a bit closer to the British crowd, and they're just giving her plenty of support. She's waving to the British fans. What a job she has done here, as you say, Matt, in Paris. Because she wasn't due to ride here. She was just the alternate rider. But she's come in here, nailed a bronze medal in the team event, and just ridden, I think, the test of her life in the freestyle as she heads out the two double gates away to my left here and heads down towards... Oh, she's gone into silver medal position on 84.357 for Becky Moody. That was sensational. And as it stands, in the freestyle dressage at the Palace of Versailles, it's a great view if you're a British supporter, because we have Carl Hester in gold, Becky Moody in silver. But the caveat to this always is that we have some big guns to come in terms of world dressage, particularly a couple of Germans lurking.
Yeah, I tell you, there's an air of surreality about all this for me.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it. I'm just down the road from the Palace of Versailles. I've got Mary Hopkin and Tom Jones blasting. I was just thinking, I've Googled Tom.
Yeah.
His next gig's in Germany in 2 days, so he could well have just been on his way to Sainsbury's this morning and thought, what's going on? That's the weirdest gig I've ever done in my life.
He's listening to Five Live Sport.
I'm singing to Dancing Horses now.
Yeah. Can I just tell you one thing? Because the dancing of horses today, we had yesterday, Snoop Dogg was here in full equestrian regalia with Martha Stewart. I mean, there are some random moments at Olympic Games, and that was one of them. Snoop Dogg in equestrian gear feeding carrots to the American horses. And let me tell you, he doesn't know how to feed a carrot to a horse. He nearly got his hand taken off. But now, as another couple of Americans rocked up, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes are in the house.
Oh, where are they?
I don't know.
I mean...
But can you imagine?
Okay. I remain the only Five Live presenter to not be on air while Snoop Dogg's in the vicinity. But I'll take Ryan Gosling, he's all right. Right, more to come. We've still got another Brit rider to go on this. Lottie Fry, who qualified fourth. So big hopes for Lottie on Glamourdale. We'll keep you up to date with that. Who knows what she'll be coming out to. In the meantime, let's get the Five Live news. Here's Bethan Holmes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Police bosses say 4,000 extra officers are being made available to respond if there's more violence on the streets in the coming days. Some demonstrations organised by the far right descended into riots in UK cities yesterday. More than 90 people have been arrested. The policing minister insists the police have the resources they need to deal with it. Dame Diana Johnson has been speaking to Chris Warburton on 5 Live.
there are things that the police can do. There are resources which they are going to pool. There was talk about sharing intelligence and using more of the facial recognition technology.
Curfews?
So at the moment, well, that could possibly be one thing as well. But at the moment, what the police were telling the Prime Minister on Thursday was they have the resources that they need to deal with this at the moment. That there are intelligence sharing and, as I say, other technologies that they can make more use of.
Memorial services are taking place in churches across Southport to remember the victims of Monday's knife attack. 6-year-old BB King, 7-year-old Elsie Stankham and 9-year-old Elise De Silva Aguiar were killed in an attack on a dance class. Israel has struck targets on southern Lebanon after Hezbollah fired rockets in retaliation across the border. Tensions remain high in the region. Our correspondent in Tel Aviv is Jenny Hill.
Iran and its proxies have vowed revenge on Israel for 2 assassinations. The killing of the Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran earlier in the week, and also the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut. Iran said yesterday that it expects Hezbollah to strike deeper into Israel from now on, and that it expects it to target more than just military facilities, i.e. civilian infrastructure. So tensions are extremely high.
A woman who complained to the BBC twice about Hugh Edwards is having therapy paid for by the corporation. The Sunday Times says the woman struck up a friendship with Edwards over social media in 2018. She contacted the organisation alleging the relationship was becoming toxic. A BBC spokesperson said it always investigated complaints fully.
Welcome to the Tooney and Russo show in Ibiza! I'm here with 2 of football's most famous friends, Alessia Russo and Ella Toon.
What do you mean I can't go on? This is what this holiday's been booked for. It's all about the big inflatable. You're telling me I can't go on? You're crushing my dream. I'm delirious. I had a big night last night. It's nice to come out and have a bit of a holiday, isn't it?
From BBC 5 Live, the Tooney and Russo show with me, Vic Hope.
Watch on YouTube and listen on BBC Sounds.
The Olympic Games, Paris 2024.
With Tony Livesey.
On BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, good morning everyone from Versailles. It's absolutely beautiful here. The sky is blue, the palace is huge. 5,000 people used to live there, Sonia. That's another of my facts. I'm determined to get them all in today. It's day 9 of Paris 2024, and it's a brilliant start here for Team GB in the Grand Prix Freestyle Individual Final. Sonia McLaughlin.
The leaderboard is red, white and blue here at Versailles. Carl Hester and Fame in gold medal position, hotly followed by Becky Moody and Jagerbomb, who dance their way to Tom Jones and sit in silver medal spot. We've got their big gun, though, to come. Charlotte Fry and Glamourdale.
Yep, not so good elsewhere this morning. A shootout sees off Great Britain's men in the hockey.
Great Britain are out. They had so much chance, so much opportunity, but this is one of India's greatest days on a hockey pitch.
There is better news for Britain at the athletics in the women's 200 metres. Darryl Neita, Bianca Williams and Dina Asher-Smith all coming through their heats.
She's running on disappointment, maybe a little bit of anger, but she's shutting down now, Dina Asher-Smith. She's going to automatically qualify for the semi-finals.
You know the promise by now. We're aiming to bring you every Team GB medal live on 5 Live. You can follow everything on the BBC Sport website and app and watch the best of the games on BBC One and iPlayer.
Paris 2024, the Olympic Games.
With Tony Livesey.
On BBC Radio 5 Live.
So we're here at Versailles on a beautiful sunny afternoon. It's lovely. On the way here, we passed Roland Garros, which is the home today for Jonathan Overend. Overs, good morning.
Good afternoon, Tony. This is exciting. We have got Alcaraz against Djokovic. Instalment number 7, which in itself is remarkable when you're considering Djokovic is so ancient and, Alcaraz is only relatively speaking starting out. And yet, undoubtedly, they're the 2 best players of this competition, 2 of the 3 best players in the world if you include Yannick Sinner, who wasn't here. And I just think there's so much riding on this match. Of course, the gold medal, but there's history for Djokovic. He's won every Grand Slam title multiple times. He's won the Davis Cup, but he's never won Olympic gold. So this would complete the Golden Slam, as they call it. But for Alcaraz, against the guy 16 years older than him, can he be first to that Olympic gold? He's already won 4 Grand Slams. It's not out of the question over the next 2 decades, when Djokovic is long into retirement, that Alcaraz could match his achievements, as ridiculous as that might sound. So I'm just so excited about what we've got coming up here over the next few hours.
We're here at the beautiful Royal Palace, and you could argue Alcaraz is the pretender to the throne, Jonathan.
Oh, see what he did there.
Thank you. I've watched him, and I was there the other day when he was playing. Actually, he whips the crowd up, doesn't he? He loves it.
No, he really does, and so does Djokovic. And I think that's been really interesting about this Olympic tennis tournament, is it feels to me, as someone who's been watching these events since 2004 in Athens, it feels to me like it's getting more and more important in terms of its status in the calendar for these very top athletes, because you've got to remember, we've had the French Open on clay, then we've had Wimbledon on grass, and we've got the US Open coming up in a couple of weeks' time on the American hard courts. But in the middle, they're back on the clay, and they're giving absolutely everything, and they should be starting in Canada tomorrow at the Masters event there, and yet the two of them, that's not on their mind at all. Today is where it really matters, and it's 3-3, in their head-to-head. They've played 6 times. Obviously, Alcaraz has won at Wimbledon the last 2 years, but Djokovic won when they played here at Roland Garros at the French Open last year. So it's just perfectly set up in terms of the balance of power.
Why do you think that's happened, Jonathan? Because, to an outsider, I guess every 4 years makes it a rather more special than an annual slam, but they count success in slams, don't they? So why is the Olympics nudging in there, do you think?
Well, I think it's such a congested calendar, the tennis calendar, that in previous years, I think too many players have seen it as a bit of an inconvenience. And there's always been this debate over sports like tennis and like golf and like football at the Olympic Games, and this spurious argument that I understand about, it's not the pinnacle of the sport. I do get that, but I don't think it's a reason to not have those sports in the Olympic Games. Look at what it meant to Andy Murray. Look at what it means to Alcaraz and Djokovic. Do you really want to deny that entertainment, that challenge, that thrill for the 15,000 people who are going to be here today, and the sense of achievement for the 2 guys battling for the gold medal? It'll, for Djokovic especially, if he can do it and complete the Golden Slam, it will put the lid on the all-time great men's tennis career.
Great stuff. Looking forward to that. Jonathan over, and thank you. Jonathan will keep his eye on the women's doubles as well. The bronze medal match taking place today. First for me at the Olympics, I've just seen somebody go out with a brush and a shovel. Very quickly, Sonia, because I've got to go to the athletics really quickly. Oh no, I've no time. Hold that thought. Let's go to the athletics at the Stade de France. The heats are underway in the men's sprint hurdles at the minute. Kath Murray and Ali Kirbishley.
They are. Hold that shovel. Yeah. We've got a men's high hurdle heat here. It's heat number 4, and it has British representation. Tarjei Ajura goes in lane number 5, the sole British representation in the men's high hurdles at this Olympic Games. Since the announcement of Andrew Pozzi this season, one of our most bemedalled athletes, announcing his retirement. And basically Ajura starts in 5 as mentioned, and has to finish in the top 3 to directly get through to the semi-final on Wednesday. I can quickly tell you that Lizzie Bird finished 4th in her 3K steeplechase heat, so she's into the final. And just in the men's long jump, Jacob Fincham-Duke jumped 7 metres and 96 and has made the men's long jump final here at the Stade de France.
Good morning in the stadium for the Brits, isn't it, Kath?
It is, but is it going to continue, Ali, in this men's 110-metre hurdles? Tarjei Ajura, a season's best of 13.48 seconds. He's the 7th fastest in this heat on paper. That's a tough ask when it's the top 3, right? What are his chances here as the final athletes are being introduced on the big screen?
Well, do you know what? Time seemed to have gone out of the door with these sprint hurdlers this morning, because we're not seeing anything majorly quick. And the big question mark is over Crittenden, the American, second quickest in the world this year. Only 3 men have gone under 13 seconds. He's one of them. He just jogged out of the blocks and just went through the field, finishing 8th. So has gone into the repechage. So Tarjei has got an opportunity. He has got to have a clean run. Let's see if he can continue the British streak.
Well, the sun is blazing here in the Stade de France, and the crowd, as usual here, are getting very excited. Wilhelm Balossian of France starts for them in lane number 8. He's been disqualified at the last 2 Olympics. The crowd are hoping that won't happen today. They settle into their blocks. Azura then of Great Britain and Northern Ireland goes in 5. He needs a top 3 position to get to the semi-finals. And he's out well, the British athlete in lane number 5 is moving very nicely, as is Simonelli, the European champion, in lane number 7. The Briton, though, a little clip of that hurdle. The Italians leading, the Swiss athlete in second. And I think, potentially, the British athlete is out of an automatic qualifying spot. But we do need the next 3 non-automatic qualifiers, potentially, to go through to the semi-final, and the others will therefore go to the repechage, which is tomorrow morning. We're just waiting for the result to come through, chaps. Jason Joseph of Switzerland, the tall figure of Jason Joseph, 13.26 seconds. The European champion Simonelli of Italy in second at 13.27 seconds. Izumiya of Japan got the 3rd automatic qualifying spot of 13.27, but a season's best for Azura in 4th at 13.35. So not automatically through, but he will have another chance to move forward.
That could be good enough, Kath. 13.35. That could be good enough. He ran to the line. Let's just wait and see what these final heats bring, and he could get one of those fastest loser spots.
Guys, thank you very much indeed. Back with you for the next heat very, very shortly indeed. Back here at the Palace of Versailles, there's a break. The tractors are in the ring. They're smoothing everything out as we go into the next stage of the Grand Prix Freestyle individual finals. Thankfully, Sonia's holding a thought and not her breath from that last moment. What was the thought you were holding?
The thought I was holding is that the leaderboard has changed. Carl Hester is still, for Great Britain, in gold medal position. Brilliant. On Fame after that tremendous test, 85.161. But I did warn you that there were some big guns coming. And Daniel Bachmann Andersen from Denmark, who was part of the team that got silver here in the team dressage, has gone into silver medal position, just dropping Becky Moody down to bronze. But still 2 Brits on the podium as it stands, which is tremendous, with just 6 horses to go. But some of the riders amongst this final group, well, they are some of the rock stars of world dressage. Alongside you now, Tony, Helen Nichols is probably hello.
Bonjour.
Is probably kind of just got a spring in her step at the minute. Helen is the performance director for and team leader for British Equestrian here, and just the way that these teams and individual riders have gone, you must be so thrilled.
Oh, we're delighted for them. We're delighted for the riders, for the team, for the owners, for everyone involved. It's, you always dream that you come to the games and it will go well for the riders and they get what they deserve. And very rarely does that actually happen in sport. It's elite sport for a reason, isn't it? But to, have a week like we've had where people leave that arena and they can say they've done their best, it's just what you dream of.
Have you surpassed expectation? Because all 3 teams in the eventing, the show jumping and the dressage got into that stadium for the medal ceremonies.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because we know how good they are.
Yeah.
And so our expectation is that they will win. But it's sport, so on the day anything can happen, especially with equestrian. You only have to have a little bit of bad luck and things go wrong very, very quickly. So we know how good they are, so we were expecting them to do well, but for them to actually deliver on the day, that's the thing where you just think, thank goodness.
And a little word for someone like Becky Moody, who we've much enjoyed this morning, because she's up the level here with Tom Jones is her music in her freestyle. For her to come in under the circumstances she did, and to get a team bronze, and now to be sitting in bronze medal position in the individual, I mean, that's quite an achievement, isn't it?
What a rider, and what a human being to come in those circumstances. And she's never ridden in a championship before. And, to come into an arena like this, it's not a small arena, it's not a small setting. And not only did she ride well, she delivered personal best and she enjoyed it. Which is, it's not always an easy thing to do in an Olympic Games.
Have you spoke to her afterwards?
Yeah.
What was she saying? Is she bouncing? Is she?
Oh, absolutely delighted. And it's funny because their first thoughts were always, did the horse enjoy it? Did he thrive in there and did he love it? And they are so delighted when they come out and the horse is bouncing as well as Becky.
Yeah.
You couldn't stand still to have his checks done. He was still bouncing, I think.
Yeah, I mean it is quite it was difficult for the British team with how the Charlotte Dujardin situation unfolded. How much has this been a lift since then? The performances that you see.
When you come to a games, you always prepare for the unexpected, and you always prepare that you try and deliver and you try and keep everything in your performance bubble, no matter what happens. But you don't normally predict the start that we had. And so for the team to pull together, and it's that thing, isn't it? Sometimes adversity pulls the team closer together, and actually what happened for us is every single person put an arm around each other and pulled tighter. And I think what you see today is just the outcome of that.
And Helen, how difficult was it to be in your shoes with that level of scrutiny on the sport?
Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? Because the riders didn't deserve that. They're Olympic Games they've worked so hard for, and they train so hard that you want them to come here, deliver personal bests and have that glow that they deserve. So I think we did, as I say, everyone put an arm around each other and pulled in tighter and turned it around. So we're sitting here today and every single person's smiling. And if you told me that 10 days ago, I might maybe have just had a little hesitant. Did I believe that? But, absolutely delighted. And what a team.
What is it about Brits and horses?
Yeah, something magical, isn't it? Something magical.
Well, can you give us we've really I'm a novice to all this, but I'm loving the atmosphere, I'm loving the vibe, and the setting, of course, is unbeatable. It's fantastic. So we had a bit of Mary Hopkin earlier on with Carl, we had a bit of Tom Jones with Becky. Can you give us a heads up about Lottie? Can you
Pretty British.
Is it?
You're going to like that one.
Is it?
How much?
Modern, or are we going back a few decades?
We're pretty modern. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to be rocking on that one.
Noddy Holder, or beyond Noddy Holder and Slade? Beyond Noddy Holder. Wow, we're going some now.
How much? Because she is. I think what we should say is that Lottie Fry is the reigning world champion. Double world champion. But in this, she is the world champion in this discipline, the freestyle dressage. And her test on Glamourdale. I've written down here. The lead with Carl Hester at the minute is what has he got? I can't read that screen. 85%, and she scored a 90 for that test at the World Championships. Do you think she's in the sort of form to deliver that?
Yeah, I think the last 3 or 4 to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they break the world record today.
Oh, Helen, really?
Yeah.
That's teeing it up. That's doing my job for me. Nobody's getting out of even Tom Jones not getting out of his car now.
I have caveated it by saying it is elite sport and anything can happen.
No, you have, Helen. Well, the world record is 94.3, so you think that's in danger? Oh, interesting.
Well, they're all on good form, and the scene is set. I mean, it's beautiful, and they are all. This is what they want to do.
It's the stress that gets me. I want to know. So, when does Lottie go, and how many go after her?
So I think she's fourth.
She's fourth. Last. Yeah, she's fourth from last. And then what we have to the caveats that we have put in place here, and Helen is quite right, is some of the riders that are about to go in this last group of 6. Isabel Vert has won 13 Olympic medals in dressage.
Okay.
She was part of the team that took the team gold yesterday, right? So. Then we've got Jessica van Bredow-Verndl on her mare Delera, who was the double gold medalist in Tokyo in the team and the individual. So she's the reigning Olympic champion in this very test.
Okay.
Right? Big gun.
You're not boosting me confidence a lot here, Sonia.
Wait. But also part of the German team that took gold yesterday. But Charlotte Fry, just tell us about Charlotte Fry, Helen, because I genuinely believe she is a superstar. This horse Glamourdale, this expressive, stunning black stallion, if they get it right today, I think she can be right up there in the mix. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think, these last 4 or 5, they've got incredible horsepower. Those horses are just amazing. But it'll be all about who can hold their cool. It makes it look easy, don't they, with the music and the vibe and everything and the dancing. It makes it look easy. It isn't easy at all, and one mistake is all it would take to undo them.
We've established you've had a chat with Becky, and why not after what she's done? Have you had a chat with Charlotte this morning? Have you got her mood, her vibe, or do you leave her alone? How does it work?
She's calm. She's cool. They do. This is their business. This is what they're really good at, and yeah, she's an ice queen. She'll be all right.
That's what I see again. I speak as an outsider to all of the Olympics, really. But you tend to project your own personality on people, your nerves, your stress, don't you? But these are the best of the best of the best, and that's why
I think they have to be, because if you get on your horse and you're nervous and you're jittery and you don't want to do it, your horse goes, whoa, what's going on? I don't want to do it either.
Yeah.
So they've got to be cool and they've got to be calm and they've got to feed that to the horses.
I know you are going to like Lottie Fry's music choices because I believe there's some Beatles in there. Hey Jude.
Oh.
I don't want to give it all away because it's too exciting.
Do you know?
Because I think it's going to be partly based on the test she did at the World with a little bit of tinkering. And I think if I'm right, she's going to strut into the arena and do a collected trot to Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. That would be. Am I close, Helen?
I couldn't possibly
say. Helen, I like you'd be a good poker player, Helen Nichols. And let me just ask you finally, we've got 4 medals for in equestrian sports so far. It was 5 in Tokyo. Do you think that could be with medal potentially today and the show jumping, 3 world-class show jumpers still to come? Are you potentially thinking we could top what we did in Tokyo?
If all goes right on the day, you know, if Lottie here delivers what she's capable of, absolutely she can deliver a medal. And, you know, as a performance director, all you hope and pray for is they get what they deserve and it goes smoothly. So, to be honest, if that happens and they don't win a medal, we'll still be happy. But, yeah, we would really like them to be able to.
And just on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad were your nerves when, because I'm looking at it, I can still see it now from my position here, the double into the final oxer for Scott Brash to win team gold in the show jumping. How nervous were you? Where were you watching it? Could you watch? Could you look?
I was standing down there in a kiss and cry, but if I'm really honest, I would have quite liked to have been in a dark room and somebody just told me it was all over.
Yeah.
Well, you see, you're not as ice cool as the riders then, obviously.
Absolutely.
There we go. You're in my camp. Final question from me. I don't want to get over serious, but we've talked a lot about some sports not performing, underperforming, and therefore being in doubt for future Olympics. Is the future of equestrian at Olympics in a good place, do you feel?
Well, were you guys here on Cross Country Day?
Yeah.
Sonia was,
And you went out in the Versailles Park, and the crowds were 20, 30 deep.
Yeah.
And as the riders went round, there was a roar. And how can you not love that? How can you not, you know, looking down here in the Versailles Palace, how can you not love this? And it's unique, isn't it? You're trying to get an animal and a human to deliver something special on one given day every 4 years. That must be the hardest thing in the world. Well, it is. We know that.
Yeah, I read there were 40,000 watching the cross country, which is some effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, good. I think we've exhausted. We've got all the music we're going to get out of you. Is there nothing else to
she's not giving a game away, are you, Helen? Have you loved Versailles? I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen an equestrian event in a more spectacular setting.
Wow. It's, you know, we came here a year ago when they were just still building it, and even then with the tractors and the mud, and this place was just a bit of mud and some tractors in the middle, and even then you looked down and you went, wow.
It's beautiful.
You could just feel it in your bones that it was going to be special, and we kept coming back every couple of months to check how we were going, and still it just got better and better and better.
It's like the world's richest centre parks here. I'll go for a world exclusive on the final question from me anyway. Carl Hester, has he retired?
Has he retired?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. He says no, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's in LA, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in his bones, isn't it?
He's too good.
He is, and he's
too good.
He's lying in gold medal position, says it all, doesn't it? Helen, thank you so much. That's Helen Nichols, who is
Helen.
basically in charge of all the horses here. Thank you.
Good, right, yes. More to come from the dressage, really, and we're all building up to Lottie Fry, of course. We're talking about her music, but it's the performance that matters. So she will be along in the very near future, because the final section of riders now is underway. The latest is a Dane to enter the arena. So while we watch her, we will bring you the 5 Live News with Bethan Holmes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Policing Minister, Dame Diana Johnson, says the government has been reassured the police do have the resources needed to deal with the kind of violence seen in parts of the country over the past few days. 90 arrests were made yesterday. Memorial services are taking place in churches across Southport to remember the victims of Monday's knife attack. 6-year-old BB King, 7-year-old Elsie Stancombe and 9-year-old Elise De Silva Aguiar died from their injuries in the attack at a dance class. Jay Slater's body has been returned to the UK almost 2 months after the teenager went missing while on holiday in Tenerife. The 19-year-old died from head injuries consistent with a fall from height. His funeral is set to take place next weekend. France has become the latest Western country to urge their citizens to leave Lebanon as soon as possible amid fears of a widening conflict in the Middle East. The UK is urging nationals to do the same. Hezbollah has fired rockets in retaliation into northern Israel overnight. Israel responded with attacks on southern Lebanon.
Escape with a good book on BBC Sounds, like Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwong.
I play up our connection. My grief over her death becomes a cornerstone of my origin story.
Enlightenment by Sarah Perry.
Thomas examined the image of a stone woman stuck on the verges of the lake. I suppose she's in the water now. What is she holding?
And Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin.
Do you have a mistress? I asked him. I don't seem to be very interested in women right now.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
The Olympic Games, Paris 2024.
With Tony Livesey.
On BBC Radio 5 Live.
Welcome back to the Palace of Versailles. We've got a couple of riders to go before Lottie Fry gets into the arena. As I say, the Danish rider, Sonia.
Nana Merrild Skoborg on Zepter, who was part of the team that got the silver. Okay. So this is, these last six are ones to watch.
Yeah, a medal threat in the ring at the moment. Yeah. Right, we'll keep you up to date with that. Let's go back to the Stade de France, where, amongst other things today, we've been watching the men's 110-metre hurdles. Kath and Ali rejoin us now, and we've seen Grant Holloway's heat. How did he go?
Oh, we've seen Grant Holloway. The world has seen Grant Holloway for the last few years. Let me just set up Grant Holloway briefly for you guys. Grant Holloway from the USA is a 5 times world champion in total. He's the second fastest man of all time. He's the world leader. He has Olympic silver from Tokyo 3 years ago when he was the favourite and led for 9 hurdles, but was out-leaned by Jamaica's Hansel Parchment. He has just come out this morning on a mission, ran 13.01 seconds, the fastest qualifier for the semi-finals by some way, because this is the one thing he wants more than anything in the world. Yes, he'd like the world record, but this Olympic gold, after missing out 3 years ago, is what the American really wants. And he looked superb.
Oh, he really did. And we've had some really odd heats here this morning, haven't we, Kath? Freddie Crittenden of America, number 2 in the world this year, finished second behind Grant at the American trials. They're looking for a clean sweep here. They've done that 8 times, and they before today I would have thought they had a chance, but then Freddie jogged his way through the heat, wanted to give himself another couple of days rest, because he will now go in the repechage, the first time we're ever seeing these repechage rounds in the sprints and up into the 800 and 1500. So he's going to come back on Tuesday, but said he's had a slight hamstring tweak. So he just jogged. I've never seen such a world-class athlete do 5 strides between the hurdles and just jog his way through. But yeah, I mean, this is Grant Holloway's to lose, isn't it? But unfortunately for him, he's got 10 3'6" barriers in the way that can also have something to say about it.
Tajay Ajura did get through, though. He was the fastest non-automatic qualifier for the semi-finals on Wednesday's guy. He ran 13.35 seconds, a big season's best. So Britain will have a representative as we move forward, Tony, in this event on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, earlier this morning, Dina Asher-Smith, Darryl Neater and Bianca Williams all raced in the women's 200 metres heats. All 3 qualified for the semis. We mentioned this already. It was disappointment last night for Dina Asher-Smith. She failed to qualify for the 100 metres final. Here she is speaking to Sarah Mulkerrins this morning.
Dina, eased through the line. How did that feel, considering the tight turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just angry from yesterday, to be honest. That's literally all I can say. It was probably one of my easiest 22.2s I've ever run in my life. And that's just testament to the shape that my coach and I have worked really hard to get me in. So, yeah, I was angry, but coming down the home straight, I was like, relax. Could not see her, and I was like, oh, hi, on the inside. But, spicing up, it's great, so I'm taking it.
She sounds pretty chipper, doesn't she, Dina Asher-Smith? Well, Darryl Neater qualified 5th fastest overall in the heats with a time of 22.39. She narrowly missed out on a 100 metres medal last night, so is looking forward to the 200. And Sarah Mulkerrins had a chat to her.
Daryl, it must feel like you've not left the track.
No, it feels like I literally probably went to sleep here last night because I was here until late, and then, so yeah, it's been a quick turnaround, but I was prepared for it. My coach had said on that specific night of the 100-metre final, you can do one Instagram post and you have to go to sleep. So I followed his instructions and I feel good today, but I'm definitely excited to get a good 24 hours until the next round.
How did it feel then?
It felt great. I wanted to do enough to just qualify safely through to the next round. That's what's important today. And it was great, amazing crowd, amazing support. All in all, it's been incredible since last night, the turnaround from coming fourth, which is so bittersweet, but
have you had a little bit more time to think about that?
I've had a little sleep on it, and honestly, I'm really proud of myself. You know, to go to Tokyo and come last in that final and to step up my game, raise the game in the 100-metre women's final, which is just absolutely not an easy race to get into in itself. To come fourth, shy of a medal, it just gives me so much confidence and a lot of motivation going into tomorrow.
Darryl Neater there. Kath and Ali, you've been there and done that. I doubt in your day you'd have been told not to go on social media in the evening.
I know, different era now, isn't it?
Maybe allowed one episode of Emmerdale before bed. But just explain the difficulty as a top athlete of forcing yourself to go to kit when you've got another big day tomorrow. That must be hard work.
It's just really hard to sleep, full stop, because you're going through, social media aside, put the phone down, your brain cannot switch off. She'll have run that race in her mind so many times. Really difficult to sort of calm those adrenaline levels down and switch off.
But for both of them, it would be hard because Daryl would have finally gone to bed analysing every single step of her final, I can guarantee you. So she's on a high in terms of her performance, which she called bittersweet with Sarah there. But Dina would have gone to sleep going over what she did and what she didn't do to get into that final. Hence, she did come out in that interview and say twice she was angry. We knew she was angry. We knew she was disappointed. So you just find it very, very hard to turn your mind off as an athlete because what we do is routine and analyse everything. But they were good this morning, Tony. They were good this morning, as was Julian Alfred, the 100-metre champion looking supreme, and the world leader Gabby Thomas. But there is a medal up for grabs potentially in this women's 200 metres.
I'm just so glad that Dina's got another bite at the cherry, another chance here. Yes, she's got the relays. Well, they both have that, but she sounded so much better in her interview with Sarah there. Last night's interview was really hard to listen to because that's how she left Tokyo 3 years ago as well. Tony, she had kept her hamstring injury quiet, went out at the semi-final level, and then floods of tears when she was talking to Jeanette Quatchy. So to almost do the same, but thankfully she's not injured this time, but just annoyed with herself. She's got this chance again.
Only fourth.
Right.
Who's fourth? Who's fourth?
Sorry. Something's happened. I don't know what, but it sounds very dramatic.
Is it Jägerbomb?
No, it's not Jägerbomb. No, there was a Danish rider who got part of the team that got silver in the team event. I was expecting to get into that top three, hasn't, only fourth. So Carl Hester is still leading for Britain in the gold medal position with just 5 riders to go. Carl Hester he's won 4 team medals at Olympic Games. This elder statesman, he's never won an individual medal, so your stress levels are going to start to go up.
Well, they are with you shouting like that when I was talking athletics and something.
We're going to hear from Carl Hester in a moment.
I know, I'm looking forward to that. Right, Kath and Ali, thank you in your absence. I think they've gone at the athletics. We'll be back with them shortly. Let's talk golf now. The leaders are on the first tee at Le Golf National. John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, a one-shot clear of Tommy Fleetwood. Medals at stake today, Ian Carter.
Yes, there are, in a fantastic atmosphere at Le Golf National. They are standing 10, 12, 15 deep around this first tee as the final 3-ball arrives on to the teeing ground to be introduced to the crowd and of course joint leaders. Here we go.
Please welcome to the tee the player in the 12:39 starting time. Représentant l'Espagne, representing Spain, John Rahm.
John Rahm in the Spanish red and a red cap with España written across the forehead of that. Waves to the crowd.
Representing the United States of America, Xander Schauffele.
Defending champion Xander Schauffele from the United States, and of course the recent Open champion.
Representing la Grande-Bretagne, representing Great Britain, Tommy Fleetwood.
And Tommy Fleetwood, 33 years of age, from Southport, waves with enthusiastic support ringing in his ears. He's got to make up a one-shot deficit here, Tony, on the course of this final round. After his 69 yesterday left him at 13 under par. Schauffele and Rahm, the former Masters winner, former US Open champion as well, he is at 14 under par after yesterday's 66, and Schauffele was round in 68 yesterday to also move to 14 under par, coming home in 32 yesterday. A brilliant performance from the defending champion. First to tee off, it is Jon Rahm of Spain. You may remember this opening hole from the 2018 Ryder Cup. Water all the way down the left-hand side. The premium is to find the fairway, and here comes the first of the two co-leaders, the burly, bearded figure of Jon Rahm as he settles over this tee shot. Away it goes on a low trajectory, looks absolutely excellent, and the ball finds the fairway down the left-hand side. So Rahm is underway in nice style. I can tell you someone else in good form at the moment is Scotty Scheffler, the world number one. He's birdied the first, so he's moved to within 3 shots of the lead. Next up, it is the defending champion, the man who won the US PGA in May and then last month won the Open Championship at Royal Troon, the champion in Tokyo, Xander Schauffele of the United States, a relatively diminutive figure with the white cap on, the red, white and blue shirt, and he just rehearses that takeaway of the club, just a fairway wood in hand, just looking for position here. Sends it on its way, turning over from right to left, but he bends down and picks up the tee, and the ball lands in the fairway, smack in the middle of the fairway, and a perfect tee shot for him. So the final tee shot on this first hole in the men's competition goes to Tommy Fleetwood at 13 under par, 1 shot behind. Just rubs his index finger down his left cheek before settling himself over the ball. Bearded figure, long hair beneath the navy blue cap, white top, blue trousers. And here he goes. And that looks pretty good as well. He bends down after a lingering look to make sure it's going to land on dry land. And it does. It's in the fairway down the left-hand side. And so everyone in the field is underway now in the final round of the men's competition in the Olympic golf, and it should be, Tony, I think a really, really thrilling day. I can tell you Rory McIlroy has opened up with a birdie at the first, and the man representing Ireland is within 3 shots of the lead at 11 under.
Ian, yeah, brilliant. It's very exciting. Just a very quick supplementary, Ian. We've talked to Jonathan Overend today about the tennis and how it's the Olympics is becoming increasingly important to the big players. Is that the same? Has it always been the way in golf? How do golfers see it?
Well, golf is a little bit further behind compared with tennis in terms of its Olympic presence, because it only came back in Rio, but very quickly it has gathered a momentum from a pretty low base, it must be said, in Rio in 2016, and now everybody who was eligible is here, really. I think Adam Scott of Australia is the only big name who still seems very reluctant about golf being an Olympic sport. Everyone else buying into it, and when you see the crowds at Le Golf National this week, you can see why.
Ian, good to talk to you. Thanks. Enjoy the final round. Looking forward to that as it unfolds. Here at the dressage, we're into the last knockings, really. We've still got a Brit to come. Is that a term? Lottie Fry still to come. We've seen Carl Hester already today, and he's still in gold medal position. Fantastic.
He is, but I don't know. Sorry,
go on. Well, we'll just hear from him, and then you can put it down on it. Let's hear from him speaking to Rishi Prasad.
Carl, 9 riders have gone. You're at the top. I suspect that there's a great deal of satisfaction in what you've just done.
I am amazed myself at what that horse just did for me, because I've only had one run through this programme. I only made the programme. Tom Hunt, who's made all my music for the last few Olympics, did this one especially with me. I had much more input into what I wanted this time, because I did realise, as I said, you never know when your next Olympics is going to be. And because I have such a great horse in Fame, I wanted this to be special. I hit all of my technical bits right. I followed my music correctly as far as I'm aware. I know I ended up in the right place, so I'm presuming the rest of it went well. So in terms of Olympics, this is this is a great ending for me as an individual. I'm not sure if that's obviously like an individual medal, but I mean, over 85%. I mean, I think that might be also my PB as well, so I'll be happy.
That's extraordinary. When you were walking out, there seemed to be a bit of emotion on your face, because I could see you right here in the crowd. You saw the flags flying, British flags. There seemed to be a huge appreciation for you. Did you feel that emotion right at the end?
Yeah, I did. On the way out, you know, I suppose a lot of these people have seen me riding many of my games, and I think they know what I possibly know as well. And yeah, I could really feel it. It was lovely. It was a lovely moment for me, and to sit on a horse that just walks out the arena on a long rein, like he was going down the shops. I mean, he's just so cool that I feel like if a horse is that relaxed at the end of the performance, then I think he enjoyed it as well.
Carl Hester speaking to Rishi Prasad. He'll be 61 in LA, whether he decides to go on with that. You were about to put it all in context for us.
Well, just to say that, he's still in gold medal position. That with more riders that go, it just shows you what a brilliant performance it was. But the rider who is in the arena right now from Germany, Isabel Wirth, on this 10-year-old mare, Wendy, is basically the best there has ever been in world dressage. She has 13 Olympic medals, and having got the team gold yesterday, she's now got 8 golds at an Olympics. So if she is not on the podium, I would be amazed. Listen to the crowd get behind her. This horse is stunning. She is the Don when it comes to dressage. And that halt at the very end, perfection.
Loads of German flags in the crowd as well. She's got huge support here.
Yeah, she has set standards in dressage that I'm not sure will ever be beaten, as she lets Wendy, this 10-year-old black mare, loose on a long rein. She takes the applause from the crowd, and somewhere Carl Hester is going to be very nervous right now, because he knows the quality of the competition he is up against. Carl Hester, remember, for Great Britain on fame, he's never won an individual medal. He's currently sitting in gold medal position on 85.161. What is Isabel Wirth from Germany, this incredible dressage rider? She's just let her reins go. That was brave. She just let her reins go and gave everybody a little clap. The horse does a little trot. At the moment, it's Carl Hester in gold, Daniel Bachmann-Andersen, the Dane, in silver, and Becky Moody is still on the board, the Briton, in bronze, but I think she might slip down once we see the scores for the great Listen to that. She's getting a huge ovation. As Tony rightly says, there are lots of Germans in this crowd bearing their colours. She just walks out of the arena and takes the applause. She is 55 years of age, like Carl Hester. This is her 7th Olympic Games. You've got to wonder if the response we're seeing from her is because she thinks this might be her last as well.
She's celebrating like she knows she's
gone to gold medal position.
Yeah, she knew that.
She has. She has now got 89.614 on the board. So Carl Hester into silver and Daniel Bachmann-Andersen in third. And as I predicted, Becky Moody has slid down to fourth. I did tell you that there was some quality to come, but Carl Hester, can he hang in there and get an individual medal? Because Carl Hester is I just love Carl Hester. He's done so much for British dressage. And at the age of 57, if this is to be his last Olympics, what a way to go out if he was to get his first ever individual medal.
Yeah, in all that bedlam there with the Germans, I've missed, I don't know where I'm going next. Are we staying here for Lottie Fry? She's up next.
She is, yeah.
Yeah, we're staying here.
Right,
great, here we go.
So,
we've got free reign, so to speak.
Oh, I see what you did there. I'm assuming that Matt Hicks is still with us.
Yeah, I'm still
Matt,
here.
As Lottie Fry trots into the arena on the gorgeous Glamodel, a quick word about Isabel Wirth.
Oh, that was just unbelievable. It was amazing. I mean, the work was high quality. You saw the horse at the end, that she dropped her reins. The horse was enjoying itself as much as Isabel. I mean, you know, we're just seeing like the dressage at its very, very, very best today. It's so exciting.
And here we have Britain's big hope, really, of a potential gold medal if she can find the form she found at the World Championships 2 years ago when she scored a 90.6. Isabel Wirth is on 89.6. it goes to show that if she is going to get this gold medal, Lottie Fry and the gorgeous Glamourdale are going to have to hit their very best. What are your thoughts as to what she's going to have to do here?
Well, she's going to have to make no mistakes. Isabel, as amazing as she is and amazing as the horse was, did make a couple of small mistakes in the flying changes. It is possible. Glamourdale's a stunning horse. Lottie is such a cool, brilliant rider. If it all comes off, she could do it.
And with a patriotic start, Lottie Fry starts trotting. I told you, didn't I?
The national anthem?
We had a little burst of the national anthem, and now she comes in at marker A. Remember, our football pitch, A is the goal mouth, away to the right. And she halts and salutes. Yep, she came into another one, bites the dust. Oh, I love this. This is very much the test that she did to win the world title 2 years ago, as she starts doing these passage, the highly collected trot, to another one, bites the dust from Queen. What have you made of her start, Matt?
Very good start, amazing passage, loads of height, loads of expression. Both horse and rider, they really just do look like they're just dancing together. It's brilliant.
This horse is a stallion, a big black stallion. He's 14 years of age, and she talks about when he comes into this arena, he wants to show off. He is the consummate showman. He wants the crowd to say, look at me, I'm Glamourdale. And what a stunning sight both Lottie Fry and this black stallion are in front of these packed stands in the shadow of the Palace of Versailles. She does her extended trot on an angle, as that's when the horse kicks his front legs out. She's now by marker A, the goal mouth away to our right as she comes around. She's now in the bottom right-hand corner of this arena, and she's now just doing a collected trot at a diagonal from marker K, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of the arena, to the marker in the middle of the arena. Now, what's she doing here,
So
Matt?
she's executing an amazing half pass. Well, she do half pass both ways. It's a very difficult movement. It's ×2, so it's out of 20, not 10, because it's considered such a hard movement. That was really, really good. In rhythm, bang on the music. Horse looks so happy. He actually looks more up and even more expressive than I've seen him. I think he's really on fire. I mean, this is gonna be good.
He's currently along the long line, furthest away from us, just doing a collected walk on a diagonal, coming towards marker K in the bottom right-hand corner of this arena. The sand arena, of course, it's got a little white picket fence that runs all the way around, 60 metres by 20. We've got 7 judges here. It's 16 compulsory moves they have to do, but they also get marks for their artistic impression, how they interpret the music, their balance, their overall picture they paint. She does a gorgeous collected canter down the long line to Millennium by Robbie Williams. Isn't that beautiful?
That's amazing. That will be getting 10s. And also, even more excitingly, that's the best I've seen this horse walk in the arena. He relaxed, and sometimes he doesn't in the walk. This is looking really promising.
Everyone talks about Glamourdale's canter. She got 4 10s for that in the team, and here he does.
Would have got 10s, definitely.
Yeah, here he does. It's my favourite, the flying changes.
He's great at these as well.
One leg to the other, like you're suspended in the air. He just changes his lead leg like he's skipping as he comes towards me, swings round in the bottom right-hand corner of the arena.
They would have scored very high as well. They're the best flying changes we've seen so far in the competition today.
This now is the pirouette on the spot, which is where the horse plants his back legs and then does a 360-degree turn. Lottie Fry and Glamourdale now on the long line. Now they come. What do they do? This half pass again, isn't it?
Half passing canter, yeah. They fly and change a leg back into another half pass. Very steep angles. The quality of the canter is amazing, which some horses lose the quality when they do these movements. And she's made that pirouette so small and so tight. That was really brave, and it came off. So this is really good.
Love this. This is another extended canter going across the arena. Tempies, explain what tempies are.
So this is an extended canter she's doing now, but tempi changes are when the horse changes from one leg to the other. In Grand Prix you have to do tempi changes every 2 strides and then one-time changes, which Lottie will be doing. Lottie, I'm guessing, will do one-time changes next, I would think.
Oh, she's doing flying changes to Bittersweet Symphony. Can't beat that, can you, Tony? When you didn't think you're going to see that when you come to an Olympic dressage, did you?
It's like the Christmas top of the pops.
She's now just heading towards the bottom left-hand corner of the arena, and she's going to be building up now this test. Here we've now got more flying changes. Bit of Hey Jude from the Beatles. What's not to love about that? What a fantastic test. Lottie Fry and Glamourdale are putting in this gorgeous horse, beautifully plaited. His ears are pointed. Tell us about the changes.
Those changes are so expressive, covering the ground.
Here she's again.
On the music.
This is the end of the test coming.
This is excited. This could do it. This could go into the lead.
Another one bites the dust as she does that pirouette to another one bites the dust from Queen.
Pirouette turning as well, which technically is very difficult.
A little bit of God Save the King thrown in as well. There's a real British flavour to this whole test with her music choices. We're coming to the end of this test. The crowd are getting behind Lottie Fry and Glamourdale. Little trip from the stallion there, but she's recovered well as she heads towards the judges at Marcus C, the top left of the arena. Whoa!
Even I know that was great.
Even you knew that was great.
That was great.
That was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't it, Matt?
Absolutely brilliant. That's actually the best I've seen the horse go as well. Lottie really went for it, kept her cool, and she's really delivered. That was brilliant.
Oh, and just a nice little wave to the crowd from Lottie Fly and Glamourdale. She was inspired by her mother, Laura, who competed for Great Britain at the 1992 Olympics. Very sadly died of cancer when she was 45, when Lottie was just 16. She wears a locket while she's riding in the arena with her mother's picture on. And Carl Hester rode with Laura Fry at the 92 Barcelona Olympics, and here he is as Charlotte's mentor. I told you he is the thread that runs throughout this GB dressage team as we nervously await the score. She has got to beat 89.614. Can she land a 90? This is the question, because if she can land a 90, she's going to go into gold medal position. As she waves to the crowd, she's just immediately below us here. Lots of British fans on their feet with their union flags, waving them. They appreciate what they have witnessed here is being high excellence. And this horse just looks like he's just been doing another simple training exercise down at the yard as he heads out of the arena on a long rein. His ears are pointed. He's going, "Hey, look at me, everyone. I'm Glamourdale. Didn't I just do a fabulous job?" And that horse, what an utter showman. He would be the sort of the equestrian equivalent of Tom Jones, I reckon, that horse.
He really would.
To my novice eyes. Oh, hang on, what's happened?
Oh, my goodness.
Tell everybody.
It's a silver medal position for Charlotte Fry. I really thought that she had done enough.
Yeah.
Isabel Vert on 89.614. Lottie Fry, 88.971. Oh my gosh, we're talking such slender margins here. You could separate them, can't you, Matt, white tissue paper?
Yeah, you really could. I mean, that's still an amazing score. I mean, wow, God, that was brilliant. I mean, what a shame, because that was really, really good. But, the judges get the final say. That's what they've decided, but that was really good.
So, after all that excitement, Isabel Vert, I told you, she's the Don. She is currently leading in gold medal position. Charlotte Fry for Great Britain, with that stunning test from Glamourdale, has gone into silver medal position. And Carl Hester is hanging in there on the leaderboard with fame in bronze as it stands. But we still have a couple of big guns to come.
Yeah, absolute drama here at the Palace of Versailles. I'm loving this. That dance to Another One Bites the Dust, that's what I thought would have won it, because the horse was literally in time with the music. What do I know? Right, anyway, we're in the medal position. It's all right. Let's go to the golf. Ian Carter, final round underway.
And a disappointing start for the British hope. Tommy Fleetwood with a bogey at the first. Missed the green to the back and the ball nestled down in the rough with his approach shot. The chip came up around about 8 feet short. And in all honesty, the attempt to save par really never threatened the hole. So he's just teeing off on the par 3, second now at 12 under par, 2 shots off the lead, which continues to be jointly held by John Rahm and Xander Schauffele. They both parred the first. Explosive start from Scotty Scheffler. A birdie at the first and then chipping in for a birdie at the second. So he's into the bronze medal positions at 12 under par alongside Nikolai Højgaard, Hideki Matsuyama and Fleetwood, as I was saying. He's just teed off and set up a birdie chance on the par 3 second. Rory McIlroy, a birdie at the first, a par at the second, and the player playing for Ireland here is at 11 under par, so just 1 shot off a medal position.
Ian, thank you very much indeed. Here at Versailles, then, we've got Britons clinging to medals by the skin of their teeth. With
do you know what's separate? It is less than 1% separates Isabelle Vert and Charlotte Fry.
Her reputation
0.64
went before as well. That might count for a mark or two.
Exactly.
3 horses to go. One of them's in the middle now, so we'll know pretty soon enough. But it's quite stressful. Let's come back and see how we're still in the medal table after we've had the news on 5 Live with Beth Ann Holmes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The government insists police have all the resources they need to deal with riots and disorder following violence in some UK cities over the past few days. More than 100 arrests have now been made following yesterday's events. The Policing Minister, Dame Diana Johnson, says courts could sit overnight to ensure that people are brought to justice. Memorial services have been taking place in churches across Southport to remember the 3 young girls killed in Monday's knife attack. Reverend Mary Ann Kent of St Philip and St Paul with Wesley Church says Southport is pulling together against hate and acts of violence. Jay Slater's body has been returned to the UK almost 2 months after the teenager went missing while on holiday in Tenerife. The 19-year-old died from head injuries consistent with a fall from height. His funeral is set to take place next weekend. France has become the latest Western country to urge its citizens to leave Lebanon immediately amid fears of what's been described as an all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah and a broader Middle East conflict. Yesterday, the UK asked nationals to take any available exit route. It follows the assassination of the political leader of Hamas and a Hezbollah commander, in which Iran has pledged to retaliate.
5 Live Breakfast
with Rachel Burden and Rick Edwards.
I didn't want to just pass by the fact that you come into work in your slippers this morning.
Yeah, just looked down and thought, I'm comfy today. What's going on? Oh, okay.
How do you come across Pommel Horse Guy? He basically had one job in the team event and he absolutely smashed it. It says from Sam, absolutely sick that America brought Pommel Horse Guy, whose sole purpose in life is to ball out on the pommel horse. He pommeled the heck out of that horse. Long live Pommel Horse Guy.
5 Live Breakfast.
Listen weekdays from 6
on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport at the Olympic Games
with Tony Livesey
on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, good afternoon. As settings go for sporting events, I think this is hard to be beaten. We're in the grounds of the Château de Versailles, 12 miles or so outside Paris, former home to the French royal court and government. King Louis XIV, the Sun King. 15 million visitors a year to this place. 15,000 are in this 3-sided arena with us now watching the dressage freestyle individual final, and the stress levels, Sonia, couldn't be higher at the moment.
You didn't expect this when you came this
I'm
morning,
loving
did
it.
you? No, we currently has Isabelle Vert, the great Isabelle Vert, 13 medals to her name. She's Olympic medals to her name, aiming for a 14th. She's in gold medal position. Then we have Charlotte Fry, just less than 1% behind Isabelle Vert in silver, and Carl Hester of... Come on, Carl Hester.
Come on, hang on.
Carl Hester is 57 years of age, is aiming for his first individual medal, is in bronze medal spot at the minute. Matt Hicks is with us.
Hi.
Grand Prix, hello, Grand Prix dressage rider who's going through the stress and strain with us. Now look, we currently have Dinja van Leeuwen of the Netherlands in the arena riding Hermes. She was part of the team that came fourth overall. Then we've got 2 big guns. Jessica von Bredow-Verndl, who is the defending Olympic champion in this discipline on her mare Dalera, and then Catherine Laudrup de Four of Denmark on freestyle, who was part of the Danish team that got the silver medal. So we've got a couple of big guns to come. Can Charlotte Fry and Carl Hester hang on to their medals? What do you reckon?
Oh, well, there's so much love out there for the British team, and especially for Carl. He's done so much for British dressage, and we would all just love it. I mean, I've got sweaty hands and I'm keeping my fingers so crossed because nobody deserves it more. You know, both those last two riders their horses are incredible. Remember, freestyle was actually trained in Britain before it's owned by a British owner, but they are very, very, very high quality horses, high quality riders, and their freestyles are normally very, very, very good. But I really, really would love Carl to win an individual and medal, and Lottie, but we'll see.
I would too. I think Carl Hester, given he has been the glue in this GB dressage team for so many years, what a way it would be to sort of sign out his career.
Matt, can I ask, how's this rider doing at the moment? I mean, you know, nobody wants anybody to fail, but we could have done with a couple of mistakes so far.
Yeah, well, my iPad keeps popping in and out a little bit, but so I miss bits. But what I've seen, the music sounded good. She's at the moment doing a really, really good piaffe. A turn in piaffe. The bits I've seen look very correct, very exciting. The horse hasn't quite got the expression and the power maybe of Lottie's horse.
I think that's a key thing when people are, you know, as she X marks the spot in the centre of the arena and she falls. I think you make a really good point, Matt, because to the general public, they just go, look, it's an horse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But when you see Glamourdale compared to the horse that's in the arena at the moment, who is a bay stallion called Hermes, he was nowhere near as expressive and as lifted as Glamourdale, was he?
No, absolutely not. No, and he came a little bit short in the neck at times, not getting too technical, which isn't because the rider rode him beautifully. Sometimes it can be a little bit nerves, or you know, it could be a little bit tired now. They've had a lot, you know, quite a few days of competing, but so there was a few areas that I could see technically that might not. She still, I think, will score very well, but maybe not quite as high. But you know, horses and dressage can always prove you wrong.
And also the other element we have to consider here as we look around this arena is we have 7 judges who are all, again, you know, we've had so many, you know, judging controversies over the years at Olympic Games, be it in a boxing or the ice skating. It is subjective, isn't it?
Very,
and as riders, sometimes do you come out and say, "Oh, you know, come on! I thought I was better than that."
Well,
just hold that thought, Matt, because that test was good, and sadly for Carl Hester, Dina van Leeuwen and Hermes have gone into bronze medal position. Charlotte Fry for Britain, our last medal hope now here in the dressage, in silver.
Oh, well, that's a real shame for Carl, but she obviously did really good test, and you know, she got the marks she deserved, and but it is a real shame for Carl.
It is only 3 percentage points we're talking about between Carl Hester
so close, yeah.
and Dinja van Leeuwen. So it just shows you, Tony, the sort of the level these riders are competing at. There's, you know, there's such fine margins. You talk about track and field when the sprinters come down the line and it's all done by hundredths of a second. It's pretty much the same here.
So by my calculation, 2 riders to go. The next one in, if she fails to beat Lottie Fry, Lottie gets a medal.
100%.
Right, so that's added stress next time out. Right, Matt, hold your sweaty hands. Same with you, Sonia. We can hold each other's if you want. We'll do that while we go to the golf with Ian Carter.
Well, I was telling you about an excellent tee shot for Tommy Fleetwood into the par 3 second. He has capitalised on that and he has birdied it. So atones for the drop shot at the first. He's back into the medal positions. He's at 13 under par, but he's sharing that position at 13 under with Scotty Scheffler, the world #1, with 3 birdies in the first 3 holes now. And he's moved to within a shot of the lead, which continues to be jointly held by John Rahm and Xander Schauffele. They're both at 14 under, teeing off on the 3rd.
Cheers, Ian. For now, we've got the German rider in the ring next. 2 to go. Can Lottie Fry hold on to a medal while she begins her routine? We'll talked about another great story that's emerging from the shooting this morning. GB's Amber Rutter is through to the skeet final. Brilliant. Shoujo Sarkos, hello Shoujo, is across this one for us. Shoujo, take us through the story.
Yeah, so this is in the women's skeet, Tony. Amber Rutter, now 26. I think a lot of people will remember her from about 10 years ago. She was the BBC Young Sports Personality of the Year way back in 2013. She started shooting at the age of 10 and became the youngest ever skeet World Cup gold medalist just when she was 15 years old. So she's been a really bright prospect for many years. She has made the final today in the skeet. They are just finishing up the qualifying, but you need to be in the top 6 out of the entire field to make it through. The final will be at 2:30 today at Châteauroux. That's the shooting centre where all of this is taking place. It's about 200 miles, 3 hours south of Paris. Now, just about Amber Rutter, her story really is quite remarkable because she has been this bright prospect from her teenage years, as I say. She made her Olympic debut as an 18-year-old in Rio with her grandfather watching from the stands. He was the one who got her into shooting. He has since passed away. And then on the verge of going to Tokyo, now just imagine this, she was ranked world number 1, bags packed, ready to go to Tokyo, and she tested positive with COVID the night before she was due to board the plane. Obviously, she was totally crushed by that. She worked with British shooting psychologist to get back into the sport. She thought about quitting, as you might do, and she's back in the sport. She had a baby this year in April, Tommy, born right at the end of April, so he's only 3 months old. She's had to really balance her training as well as having a baby, and if you imagine, there's just not that much research about how much shooting a shotgun affects a pregnant woman, with the recoil and doing that over and over again, and of course the loud sounds. But she's managed to do that. She's there in Paris. She's made the final. She came 6th in Rio when she was last at the Olympic Games. She'll certainly be hoping to get a medal this time.
Well, guaranteed a medal, I guess, Shoujo. Now she's in the final. Who's she playing?
She's not guaranteed a medal. There's six shooters in the final. It is an incredibly high quality field. It will. I can't give you all the 6 names because they haven't quite finished the qualification round. But just to give you an idea, through the qualification, it lasts 2 days. Each woman takes 125 shots, and the top women, of which Amber is one of 3, have only missed the target 3 times. 125 targets, and these women have hit 122. So it's a really, really high quality field. There'll be 6 of them going in that at 2:30. Amber's one of them.
Great, and you'll be watching. Shoujo,
absolutely. Thanks,
mate. Shoujo Sarka there watching the shooting here in the dressage ring. Have we just seen, I don't know many dressage terms, have we just seen a PF to a PF? Edith PF. Matt, was that a PF to a PF?
It was a PF passage, PF sequence.
To Edith Piaf.
To Edith Piaf, exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope it's not too good. Matt, is it good?
It is good. Yeah, Jessica's doing a great job at the moment, and this horse is so light and it all looks so effortless, and at the moment it's going very well.
Remind us where we are.
Yeah, I will. This is Jessica von Bredow-Werndl of Germany, the world number 1 in the arena right now on her mare Dalera, and these two were double gold at the Olympics in Tokyo. So she is the defending champion in this freestyle dressage. As it stands at the minute, it's her teammate Isabel Wirth of Germany on the mare Wendy, who is in gold medal spot. Charlotte Fry and Glamourdale in silver medal position, and Dinja van Leeuwen of the Netherlands in bronze. So this test that we're seeing right now could really impact on what medal Charlotte Fry manages to get, because we still if at all, you're right, because we still have one rider to come after this. The cream very much rising to the top here in this individual final, the freestyle dressage. Remember, it's 16 compulsory movements that they have to do. What a lovely French flavour we have here. She's playing, so she knows her audience, doesn't she, this one?
Did we just hear a murmur of appreciation from Matt, or something else happening?
No, it was nice. This is a really lovely test. Yeah, it's going so well. And yeah, the choice of music is really clever.
Yeah, she's playing to her audience, no question, as she does a fabulous extended canter on the far side of the arena. This mare Dalera looks so relaxed as she goes from extended canter into the pirouette on the spot, the horse rotating through 360 degrees. It is a dark bay mare as she starts to do those flying changes that I think our audience are now becoming fairly familiar with. The horse changes its lead leg at the front at canter, And it's almost as if the horse is suspended in the air, skipping. She's now in the bottom left-hand corner of the arena. I mean, has this rider taken over, if you like, from Isabel Wörth as the best in the world, or are they still a bit neck and neck, these two?
I just think they're neck and neck. I mean, they're both amazing horsewomen, and Jessica just looks like she could just be hacking around, could be hacking around the park. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and they're so as one, and so experienced, and there's not going to be much in it. This is so tight at the top, but I mean, so far it's pretty mistake-free, very on the music. The way of going of the horses look so happy. This is what's not to like about it, really.
And given that there are 5 marks as well for artistic impression, the horse and rider combination, how you've stuck to the music. At the minute, she's going to score highly in that, isn't she?
She really is. I mean, you could just see the horse slightly just twitching a little bit with her mouth.
She's coming down the centre line now. We're getting to the finale. Here we go. Back to Edith Piaf as she does the Piaf. Tony's got it nailed. This is this highly collected trot as she comes down the centre line. And her back is upright in the saddle. How elegant she looks with that long black jacket on as the tail of the jacket just sits over the back of the saddle. She's now gone Piaf to Passage. She's coming to her conclusion. You can hear it. The crowd's getting behind her. She just does a little Piaf on the spot right as she heads towards the judges at marker C. But this test coming to its conclusion. We're going to have the halt. Oh, it's not a perfect halt. If we're going to pick holes in this test, that wasn't a square halt, but I don't think it's going to be marked down too much, is it? No.
I don't think it will. And I mean, what a lovely finish as well. I mean, the whole performance told a story, and it was just really lovely to watch.
So delicate, that horse as well at times, wasn't it? Just light on its feet, athletic, balletic, relaxed, one with horse and rider. I mean, the overall picture that they've painted is one of near perfection, isn't it?
It really is. You're not going to see much better than that. But I mean, the next rider in, and Catherine will definitely be gunning for it. That's for sure, though.
So we think this rider here may have pushed Lottie into bronze. We think
that would be my gut instinct at this moment, because we're in Isabel Wörth, who's currently in gold, and this rider Jessica von Bredow-Werndl of Germany as well. These two are just neck and neck, as we were discussing, as to being the best riders in the world. And Charlotte Fry's a bit younger than both of them. She's a coming rider on the world stage. She's won a world title.
Yes, she is. She's a lot younger, but still very, very, very experienced. Lottie's riding a stallion, and she did an amazing job. I mean, Carl Lottie, I know unfortunately Carl isn't going to get a medal, but I mean, he's still going to be in the top 6, and that's still amazing at the Olympic Games.
It certainly is. As a cameraman, there's a brave cameraman with his Steadicam there in the face of the horse, because those horses, particularly stallions, can be a bit temperamental, as Isabel Wörth and Wendy the mare disappear out of view away to our left, and we nervously await the scores. Is Charlotte Fry going to stay in silver medal position? No, she's not. She's in bronze, because that rider, Jessica von Bredow-Werndl, with the first 90 of this freestyle final, has gone into the lead on the Mare de l'Era, just ahead of her compatriot Isabel Wörth. Those two will get medals for sure. Charlotte Fry, we don't know, because there is one horse to go.
And who, just very quickly, this next horse in, is it
Catherine
Danish?
Yes, it's Danish. Catherine Laudrup de Fort of Denmark was part of the team that got the team silver, and she is riding the most stunning horse, freestyle, so she is an enormous threat to Charlotte Fry's hopes of being an individual medalist here.
This is a lovely horse, a really, really lovely horse. And I mean, they haven't been together too long as a partnership, but she certainly hasn't taken her very long to get to know her, because yesterday her test in the Grand Prix Special was amazing.
Yeah. Well, look, let's hope there's a refusal at the first or something. Whatever can go wrong, in a nice way. Don't want anything to happen to the horse. Right, so the last horse is in. We'll bring you up to date with that. It's quite stressful here at the Palace of Versailles. Let's, for some light relief, head to the Stade de France, shall we? It's the women's 400 metres hurdles. They're taking place. The big battle for golds between the defending champion and world record holder Sydney McLaughlin-Lavron, I hope that's right, Netherlands world champion Femke Bol. Kath Murray and Ali Kirbishley are watching. How did they get on, guys?
The big names there you mentioned, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, the world record holder from the USA. She doesn't race very much to the frustration of track and field fans, but she looked easy and controlled the American Olympic champion. 53.6, easily done for her. And Femke Bol back, like so many athletes today, Alison, from the mixed 4x4 gold for the Netherlands, the second fastest of all time. Very easy, as we'd expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real clash of the titans. It's the two greats, the two quickest ever coming head to head. Like you said, Kath, we see it so rarely on the circuit. They did. Sydney was injured last year at the World Champs, and Femke made her mark and became the world champion there. She's the quickest ever indoors. She's the world record holder over 400 metres indoors. And in Sydney's absence, she's just continued to get quicker. It's mouth-watering, that head-to-head, a real clash of the titans.
It's one of the biggest head-to-heads we have in track and field, Tony. We absolutely love it when they battle, because something special always happens. Like in Tokyo, a world record was broken by McLaughlin-Levrone when Femke Bol got bronze. But because they do it so rarely, we get very excited when the Olympics come around. So looking forward to them in the semi-finals. Lena Nielsen also got through in heat number 4, finishing second, the British number 1, just outside her lifetime best. But Jessie Knight did not get through automatically. The former British champion finished 5th in her heat, but will race in the repechage tomorrow. But the 4 hurdles at the Paris Olympics is all about McLaughlin-Levrone and Femke Bol.
What a great name, McLaughlin. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
She's the Don, Sonj.
She is. In your words, she is the Don.
I'd like to Sonja beat her at 400 metres for a gin and tonic, I'll tell you that.
I could tell you a story about me doing the media race at that very stadium, the Stade de France, 800 metres.
I think I've still got video footage of that.
It was one of the most horrific experiences of my life.
I love that.
How did you do?
I came 3rd in my heat. I was seeing stars coming into
the
home straight.
There was 25 heats, Tony.
It's a miracle I got round 2 laps.
Right, well, look, Kath and Ali, we'll be back with you before I disappear today, but we're just going to watch this last round of the dressage, because the British medal rests on the performance of the Danish rider in front of us now. So here at the Palace of Versailles, Matt Hicks and Sonia McLaughlin, take it away.
Yeah, this is 32-year-old Catherine Laudrup Defoe of Denmark, riding freestyle. It's a dark bay mare, and she's 7th in the world. She was part of the team that won the silver medal here for Denmark. And what do you make of how she started, Matt?
Yeah, we're seeing some really high quality work. She has made a little mistake at the end of a very lovely extended trot, but then the mare just had a miscommunication and cantered, and there was no change in the music, so it clearly wasn't part of the performance. So that could be expensive. There's some little glimpses in loss of rhythm at times, but on the whole, it's looking really, really good.
Yeah, and as I said, she's 32 years of age. She's now got an Olympic medal to her name after the silver in the team. This horse is just at Marker C. Remember, I described it as a football pitch. The C is the goal mouth away to my left, and she is just doing her pirouette, which is the horse's feet planted in the sand, and she just swings round by 360 degrees.
That was very technically difficult to piaffe like she did then and turn in a pirouette, and then to go into a canter pirouette. That was very hard.
Yeah, here she is going from the bottom left-hand corner of the arena to the top right, just in her extended canter. This rider, by the way, Tony, a little bit of info for you. Brian Laudrup 80-odd caps for Denmark. This is his daughter-in-law.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
great.
And along with her wife, Rasmin Laudrup, they are one of the sort of glamour couples in Denmark. Her wife, Rasmin, is a very successful show jumper as well. Yeah, so talented partnership. This is freestyle. He's 15 years old. I mentioned that freestyle here, this mare, has actually had a foal by Glamourdale. We can talk about that a bit later. But here she is in her flying changes. Matt, how's she doing?
Really good. Yeah, lovely flying changes. Yeah, this is so far so good. I wouldn't want to put money on. For me, it's not quite as good as Jessica's and Isabel's for me, but there's a few little green wobbles.
Is it better than Charlotte's? That's the key thing.
Well, I would love to say no, but I don't want to tempt the commentator's curse. I don't want to take fate, but she's had a few little unfortunate little green mistakes. It's just whether or not the quality of the work in between is being good enough to keep her score up. I think it probably has, but I think it's going to be really close.
It's going to be incredibly tight.
She needs, for us anyway, if we're just Brit-centric, she needs to come fourth or less, doesn't she?
Yes,
really?
she does. Yeah. We don't want her to get into the top three because that means Charlotte Fry will finish fourth, which would be as she just does these flying changes, she heads towards the top right-hand corner of the arena and she just goes to a gentle walk. Can you see the horse puts his head down there and he just accepts the rein? That's the sort of the obedience level of dressage, and he's just saying, okay, I'm listening to you, you're letting me walk on a very relaxed long rein, I can do that. It's just like we're going for a little stroll around the Palace of Versailles. She's just doing that on an angle at the minute as she goes across X, which is an imaginary marker right bang in the middle of the arena. She just takes up her reins again and she immediately asks this horse on the centre spot to go into a pirouette. That's that 360 degree full turn, and she's now doing the piaffe. This is difficult now, isn't it?
Really difficult. So she's basically reversing what she did on the other rein. I mean, it's amazing floor plan. Very, very difficult. Very difficult indeed. Especially she doesn't know, she's only had the horse a year or so, I think. I don't know exactly, but it's not that long in equestrian terms. It takes years to get used to a horse. So this is still very impressive.
Oh, I wasn't sure about that halt either. He didn't land the halt. It's a bit like a gymnast when they don't land a vault.
She didn't actually stand still.
She didn't stand still.
That
will be marked down. That will be costly.
Yeah.
We're clutching at straws, but that will clutch.
We really are. We really are.
I will clutch at as many as are on offer, to be honest, because that wasn't a good halt. So the horse didn't stand still. It's supposed to stand square and stop.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Less than a minute now, we'll know, won't we?
Yeah,
less than a minute.
Yeah, so now we've just got to that awful... I cannot imagine what Charlotte... she is a bit of an ice queen. That's what Helen Nichols said, didn't she? So, but I imagine even in a moment like this, even Charlotte Fry's ability to have ice running through her veins is going to be sorely tested right now, because it's Jessica von Bredow-Vandel in gold, Isabel Wirth of Germany in silver. The Germans doing what the Germans do when it comes to world-class dressage. They are the force. They are the force. And Charlotte Fry sits in bronze medal position at the moment. Carl Hester currently 5th. And Becky Moody currently sitting in 7th. So we await, because this whole order hangs on the score for Catherine Laudrup Dufour of Denmark and freestyle.
It needs to be 4 or less or higher, whatever way you want to look at it. Let's have a red 4, please.
Yeah, so these scores are taking their time, and you can understand why they do, because the 7 judges, it's highly complicated, the marking system. All the numbers have to go into a computer, then they have to be crunched out, and eventually it forms a percentage, with Jessica von Bredow-Vandel leading with 90.093, the only 90% score or over of this freestyle dressage, which determines the individual medals. Where she's only 5th. Charlotte Fry has got an Olympic bronze medal to match the Olympic bronze medal she got in the team yesterday. Charlotte Fry and the gorgeous stallion Glamourdale are on the podium. Matt Hicks.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I had my fingers crossed because unfortunately Catherine did make some mistakes, and the music wasn't quite as powerful as Lottie's. So it would have been disappointing if she had beaten Lottie, because I think Lottie definitely deserved to stay in bronze personally, so she did. So that's great.
What a fabulous result. So it's
really fabulous.
It's a bronze medal here for Charlotte Fry. She finishes in third spot on the podium. Carl Hester, we don't kind of get the fitting end to his career, if it is the end, Carl Hester, because
it's not.
we all hope it's not. But he finishes sixth, which is a fantastic achievement with his horse Fame. And then Becky Moody, who came in as the alternate rider, has managed to get into this final, and then she smashed it, didn't she?
In the top 10
in the world, finishing in eighth. Just goes to show, Matt, doesn't it, just how strong British dressage is.
British dressage is so strong. We've got some great riders, great trainers, lots of lovely young horses and things coming through, and all the British teams in equestrian have done so well. It's been so proud to be British. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So a bronze medal for Charlotte Fry and Glamourdale, and that's the fifth medal for Britain of these games in the equestrian sport, Tony.
It's I've loved it, Sonia.
Have you?
I've loved it.
I
like the setting's fantastic, the enthusiasm of the crowd, 15,000, it's packed, there's not a spare seat in the place.
It's got a bit hot now, though. I'd quite like to dive in that swimming pool that's over there.
Yeah, what's that for, the modern pentathlon?
That's for the modern pentathlon.
The whole business. So we got a medal.
Yes.
Do the horses get on the podium?
No, Tony, I know.
No, that's not. I meant that in all seriousness. Do they have a big podium?
They can you see? We have this hive of activity that's going on right now, because what is happening here is they are going to take out all of the paraphernalia is being removed, and they will build a podium. I think, given the way they've removed some of the fencing around the arena, the podium's probably going to go that end, the right hand side.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they bring in all three riders to stand on the podium, and all the horses who are medalists also come into the arena.
Oh, and that's what I was getting at.
I know.
The horses aren't left behind.
No, I was teasing you.
Yeah.
Basically, so can you imagine when it was the team dressage, or any team event? That's 9 horses in the arena.
Yeah.
That's the potential for absolute chaos. But in this instance, of course, it will only be 3 horses coming into the arena.
They're set dressing it, aren't they? They're bringing in shrubbery.
They are. It looks a bit like, Wimbledon, or with all the kind of the purple and the white and the green colours. Now we've got a Mexican wave with the German fans. So I'm pretty sure we are going to get a medal ceremony imminently, which will be a very proud moment for Charlotte Fry.
Yeah, Matt, that was just as I speak as a general sports fan, very, very stressful. But that's why we love sport, because it gave us that moment right until the end, till we saw that final rider come fifth. We were all in the game, invested.
Oh, he really was. And the nice thing was, it was quite open. You couldn't have guessed that could have gone any way for those top 3 riders, actually. It was so close. And, that's what makes very, very high standard horsemanship, happy horses. And, I mean, that's what, makes it an amazing sport.
They're going full garden centre now in front of us. That would be several trolleys worth. There, but they're making an instant backdrop to the medal ceremony.
Yeah, you can see now that the podium is just come in on the back of that van. And we will have a medal ceremony.
Yeah, we will return for that. I'm off.
You're going?
I'm going back into the city. Matt, you've been brilliant. Really good company today.
Oh, I really enjoyed it, and thanks ever so much for inviting me. It was great.
It's a pleasure. It was great that we've been along. Loved it.
Yeah, thanks. Really good, guys. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the games, everyone.
Cheers, Matt. Matt Hicks, international dressage rider and trainer, expert. Sonia, I've enjoyed your company today. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
You can describe the medal ceremony later on, off dismounted medal ceremony, which I'm very disappointed at. I think that could be a new twist to the LA Games. Maybe get them on, get the old. If they can dance to Queen, they can stand on a podium. You would have thought.
Well, let's try it.
Right, that is it from me. I think I'm out of here. Chappers is up next. I know not where, but he's I'm going to... Oh, he's at Roland Garros at the Tennis Chappers. Over to you.
I am.
Bonjour.
Yes. Bonjour. Have a good afternoon. You too. Yes, at Roland Garros, and just overlooking the main court here as they get ready for the gold medal match. There was a women's doubles bronze medal match on just before that, went the way of the Spanish pair, and so now at the moment they're just doing all the different repairs to the court down below. They're changing the net from a doubles net to a singles net, and Jonathan Overend alongside me. In the next 10 to 15 minutes we should expect the participants for this men's gold medal match to come onto the court, and it will be mouth-watering. Novak Djokovic against Carlos Alcaraz.
I just think the balance of power, Mark, welcome, by the way. I mean, I think this is a big win for tennis to have you in the house today. The balance of power is just perfectly set. They've met 6 times before. And Djokovic has won all of the Grand Slams multiple times and the Davis Cup, but has never won Olympic gold. Alcaraz has already won 4 Grand Slams and has beaten Djokovic, of course, in the last 2 Wimbledon finals. And you feel he does have that precocious ability to go on and have a similar career to that Djokovic has had, as ridiculous as that sounds, seeing as Djokovic is the all-time greatest in the men's game. So I just don't know what to think ahead of this meeting. Djokovic won their only French Open meeting, which was last year in the semi-final on this court. I've got no idea who's going to win it.
I mean, you sent me a whole load of stats last night, all the notes for this game, and you sort of plough through them, and you read one and you think, yeah, okay, well, Alcaraz will win there now, having read that. And then you read another and you think, well, do you know what? Actually, I think Djokovic will win. And as you say, that's the nature of it. You know, head-to-head 3-3, 1-1 on clay. There are so many things that tie into this, that even though Alcaraz appears to be the dominant player at the moment, you still obviously wouldn't rule out Novak Djokovic.
No, well, he's hanging on, isn't he? I mean, he's 37. He would be the oldest player to win a tennis gold since the sport's returned to the games, and the oldest in history since 1908. And Alcaraz would be the youngest.
Yes.
So you've got this 21-year-old against the 37-year-old, and I just think Djokovic wants this so badly. He wants to win the gold so badly, to join Nadal, Agassi, Serena, Graf as players who've won all 4 Grand Slams and the Olympic gold. The Golden Slam, as they say. It would really put the lid on the all-time great men's tennis career.
And he has said, has Djokovic, and we'll probably talk more about this as the match progresses, that he feels very different to how he felt just less than or just over a month ago at Wimbledon. He feels now that he's a month further on from the knee injury. He feels like he's moving better. He feels like he's striking the ball better. So, you know, the last time you saw Novak Djokovic was in the Wimbledon final, for example, and Alcaraz dismissing him in that, Djokovic will tell you he feels a different athlete now.
Yeah, and of course it was a surprise to many that Djokovic even made it to the start line at Wimbledon, let alone make the final, considering he'd had that meniscus tear in his knee here at the French Open. Slight concerns in his quarter-final during this tournament when he called the physio out during the match just to inspect the knee, which continues to be supported by this brace. I'm sure he'll come out today with it on the knee again. But I've been really impressed, particularly in the semi-final, with how he has moved, how he's played, yet to drop a set, and he will fancy this today. He really, really will. But for Alcaraz, French Open, Wimbledon, Olympic gold, all in the same summer. I mean, that would have to go down as one of the great sort of seasonal achievements in sport if he could win the 3 of them together.
Absolutely. Annabelle Croft, part of our team this afternoon. Which way are you leaning? Does it change every 5 minutes?
It does. I'm a little bit like Jonathan. I think it's really, really tough to call. You've said it all. I mean, we do have the ultimate match here for the gold medal. Youth against experience. So much on the line, as Jonathan has said, with Djokovic desperate to add this gold medal title and also to redeem himself after Wimbledon. I mean, that was a pretty heavy loss, I thought. You know, I was expecting actually that Djokovic might have won that Wimbledon final. But I mean, that long first game they played, which was about, 13, 14 14 minutes, and Alcaraz broke in that very first game of the Wimbledon final, and he never looked back. And it was the first time I'd really seen Djokovic look a little bit terrorised on the court, where he had no answers to what Alcaraz was doing. But of course that's a very different surface. It was grass. We're back on the clay again now. Does that make Alcaraz a better clay court player? He's certainly, in his career, with the 15 titles he's won, 8 of them have been on clay. Whereas when you go down the list of 98 titles that Djokovic has won, I haven't actually tallied them up, but I know it's a lot more hard courts than clay court title. I think that's his favourite surface. So, I mean, I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. I think we've learnt over the years, you never underestimate Djokovic. Remember when he lost that heavy defeat in the Wimbledon final last year, which was the 5-set epic, he went on to win the US Open. So he came and bounced back very quickly. Will he do that again today? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm so excited about it.
But also with you both as well on this, this is within an Olympic context as well, and regular listeners throughout the course of the last few days will know I'm obsessed now with Teddy Riner, the French hero of judo and one of the superstars of this game. He Annabelle, had this amazing career, and yet there was so much pressure on him to go out with a gold in his home city at the age of 35. Now, despite the fact he's had this wonderful career already, we could mention Max Whitlock yesterday. Amazing career, amazing. 32 medals in gymnastics throughout his career, 6 Olympic medals, but was going yesterday for something historic, a 4th consecutive Olympics to medal on the same piece of apparatus. And that's the same for Djokovic here. If win or lose today, what an unbelievable career. But all of a sudden, the Olympics create this added extra frisson, really, this added extra thing that you can add to your legacy with, no matter how good your career is.
Oh, I think that's spot on. And, if anyone can cope with pressure, I think it's Novak Djokovic. He had to do that when he overtook Federer and Nadal, which for the majority of his career, he was chasing down their Grand Slam tally. And then he eventually overtook them, and he stands at the top of the men's game with 24, tied with Margaret Court. But as you said, this is just that extra pressure. And we even saw Serena Williams when she was trying to match Margaret Court and try and win all 4 slams in one calendar year, and she came so close, but even she faltered at that hurdle when suddenly the nerves and the pressure at that US Open just overtook her, and she just couldn't get there. So we'll have to see what kind of mood Djokovic is in today, how well he's playing, where the nerves are at, and I'm sure that Alcaraz will have incredible nerves as well. There's going to be extra nerves. I felt he was really, really nervous even in the doubles matches that we saw him play with Nadal. So I think you're right, there's this extra thing about the gold medal and playing for your country, the Olympics, and what that means to everybody. It's kind of set aside from the world of Grand Slam titles, hasn't it? So let's see what happens today, but I have to say I really can't wait.
And I think one of the things we love about sport the most is uncertainty, isn't it? What's going to happen? And I think the fact that we've asked 48 questions to ourselves in the first 10 minutes of the programme in the build-up just illustrates that we've got no idea what is about to happen down there on the red clay of Roland Garros.
Going to have to come up with some more questions, I think. We talk about the importance of the gold medal here in the tennis. Tommy Fleetwood has talked about the same thing in the golf, Ian Cart, hasn't he? He has said, that would be one of the things that he would hand on down to his son. This is what it means to them as well.
Exactly, a legacy for the future generations of the Fleetwood family is the way that he put it. I think the golfers really have realised the significance of the Olympics. They have embraced it. The crowds have as well, and this is really good now, Mark. It really is. John,
it really is.
I mean, they've all, the leading 3 all came to the 4th, all hit very good approach shots. Fleetwood the best of the lot, and all 3 of them converted their birdies. So there is just a tiny bit of separation, although having said that, a birdie for Hideki Matsuyama keeps him on Tommy Fleetwood's tails. So let me bring you right up to date with the leaderboard. John Rahm and Xander Schauffele, they're both 2 under par now for their rounds, 16 under par overall, and 1 ahead of Tommy Fleetwood, who dropped a shot at the first, birdied the second, and has now birdied the 4th. So Fleetwood in bronze medal position at 15 under. Just behind him, Hideki Matsuyama playing the 6th at 14 under par. Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, playing the 6th at 13 under. And then at 12 under, you have Rory McIlroy, who's just missed the green with with his approach at the 6th. McIlroy 2 under par for his round so far. So a really strong leaderboard and some great golf already in the early stages of the final round of the men's competition.
Andrew Murray, part of our golf team, watching with us this afternoon. Given the way everybody has started here in that sort of top of the leaderboard, I mean, even if you go down to sort of tied 8th, then Jason Day and Joaquin Niemann of Chile, they're both 2 under through 6 holes as well. You're going to have to win this today, aren't you? You can't rely on someone else losing it.
Well, I think that's absolutely right, Mark. I think the scoring is incredible. The quality of the golf is just amazing. I've played this course many times, and it's not an easy golf course. And these guys are absolutely ripping it up. The holing putts from all over the place. Their approach play is exquisite. The crowds are massive. The atmosphere looks amazing. Feels fantastic.
What was your best round around there?
It's a long time ago, probably about 68.
You remember these things, though, don't you?
No, not really.
Yeah, but you do. You do. 68.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that is very, very impressive. A bit like talking about Djokovic and Alcaraz, Ian. You wouldn't like to put your money on any of them at the moment, would you? I mean, I know Rahm and Xander Schauffele are on 16 under, and I know the form that Schauffele is in, but I just keep looking down to tied 5th and Scottie Scheffler 3 under through his 5 holes.
Yes, he came out of the blocks, didn't he? He chipped in for his birdie at the 2nd, a really composed birdie at the 1st. The par 5 3rd is an expected birdie as well. Now it's whether or not the putter stands up to the scrutiny, because whoever putts best here is most likely to win. The greens are still soft and receptive. You can play aggressively. If you play over aggressively, you're going to find trouble. But it's the combination of that approach play and holing the putts, and if there is a weakness there with Scheffler, it is the holing of the putts. Rahm is in great form. He won the Live event last week. Schauffele, we know, as you've alluded to, brilliant form. He is the defending champion as well. He's won 2 majors this year, and Fleetwood has done everything this year other than really get into the heart of competition on tour on the final day. So this is a big day for him. And also, just worth making the point, Tom Kim of Korea, were he to medal, and as it stands at the moment he's 4 shots outside the medals at 11 under par, well, that would spare him national service in Korea, so he's got quite a bit on the line today as well.
Goodness, he has, hasn't he? Ian, Andrew, for the time being, thank you. Let's head to the boxing. Steve Bunce has been watching this morning's semi-finals. You've had some home favourites in action, haven't you?
Oh, have I? More than that, chappers. On the left-hand side of me, 2 from French National Radio. On the right-hand side of me, coming out of the blue corner, 2 from French National TV. 2 absolutely wafer-thin decisions. Both went the way of the French. I have tears, or I had their tears on my shoulder. I've been high-fiving. I was cuddled by all 4 of them, and in fact 2 or 3 standing behind also cuddled me. Both of them have gone through. Bilal Ben-Nama will be in the final, as will Sofiane Oumier will be in the final. However, the real highlight today was one of those quirky things that boxing can throw up, and you know boxing throws up quirky things, chappers. You know that.
Well, it's thrown up you, Bunsey.
It's
so
thrown
yes.
up me. Absolutely. You know, I suppose I haven't missed the quirk. Anyway, as in quirky things, in the last fight number 199 here was men's 92 kilogram semi-final. It was a fighter from Spain, and a fighter from Azerbaijan. And the beautiful thing is, they were both born in Havana, and I'm reliably told by my member of the Cuban press, 9 months apart in the same hospital, and somehow one's representing Spain, one's representing Azerbaijan. All I tell you is the Cuban won.
Now let's hear from Lewis Richardson, shall we? Steve spoke to him last night after he made it through to the semi-finals. Here he is.
Lewis, congratulations. What a great end, perfect end to a really hard week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, amazing. Special moments in my life. Very proud, very grateful, honoured, representing Great Britain, representing myself, my family, Colchester, Essex. Yeah, over the moon, really proud and grateful.
You're just boxing like you belong here. You seem more and more relaxed. It's like you want a few more rounds.
Because I do belong here. I'm at this level. I've had doubters in the past sort of say otherwise, but I proved them wrong now on the biggest stage in the world. So people can say what they want, but you know, there's very, very few people who become Olympic boxing medalists, even less from GB, so I'm one of them, and that'll be in history books forever.
And you're actually living some of those dreams, all those dreams you had about winning a quarter-final, getting to a semi-final. You're living dreams, son.
This is my dream. I'm living my dream right now. The last 2 weeks since I've been here, these are my dreams I'm living out right now. So, I feel super blessed and extremely happy.
Tell us how well he's done, Steve.
Well, he's a guy that had 366 days out and finished that in November of last year. He wanted to box in a tournament at a new weight, and the GB team weren't that convinced, so he privately funded a trip to Portugal, where I believe he boxed 4 times in 4 days at the new weight. He went to the last qualifier. He only qualified for the Olympics in early June, so it was no time to get himself prepared. He had to box 4 times in Bangkok in a ridiculous final qualification tournament. But he has fought with a poise, and that expression I used there, you're boxing like you belong here, Lewis. That's the sort of boxing expression. He's coming out, he's looking at the crowd, and it's quite loud in here. It's very loud in here. They're really into it, the people that come here, end of the train line and the rest of it. And he's just boxing so comfortably. But I've got to warn you now, chappers, the 4 semi-finalists, I've had a good thorough look the last half an hour or so. It's the meanest, hardest and most qualified and most to be feared set of semi-finalists. He's got 3 men. He'll be boxing one of them, obviously, but if were he to come through, the other 2 in the other semi-final. It's a fearsome foursome. He's part of it, though, trust me.
And he's also had to carry the boxing team, hasn't he, as well, because of how it all went in earlier rounds for the other 5?
Well, he was the last of the 6 to box. And he's been in the camp. He should have been at the Olympics in Tokyo, but a couple of bouts of COVID and some bad luck ruined that, scuppered that, and then injuries kept him out, as I said, for just over a year and a day. And then he was in the camp and he was at the boxing here as they steadily went out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them went out. In a hard draw, of course, I've been saying that. But more than that, 4 of the 5 went out on wafer thin 3-2 decisions. Absolutely nothing in it. If the 4 that went out on the 3-2 decisions, if one judge in their fight, in one of the rounds, had scored it to them, all 4 would have gone through and there would have been no pressure on Lewis. I spoke to him about 7 or 8 minutes after he came out the ring, after his first fight. And I am telling you, generally the boxers down there, they're hyped up, they're really hyped, or they're really deflated. Sometimes even in defeat they're deflated. This guy was absolutely calm as they come. He didn't look like he'd been in the ring for 9 minutes. And I thought then, yep, you're due for me, Lewis. I knew he was a calm fighter, I knew he was a composed fighter. But he's cruising through these fights, even if they're tightish decisions on paper. Trust me, he's fighting within himself. But he's up against a Mexican that's stealing the show here. A guy called Alvarez, not related to Sol Canelo Alvarez, but the rumour is that he is kind of related in some kind of ridiculous extended family way. Either way, he fights like a proper Mexican, and that means he's aggressive, he's relentless, and he's ruthless. Richardson's got him in the semi-final. If he gets through that, the other 2, I'm not even going to start telling you about the other 2 because they're really good.
I mean, even so, 1 medal out of it, there are still I mean, we've been round this, I suppose, but whether he wins gold, silver or bronze, Lewis, there will still be an inquest, won't there?
There has to be an inquest, but I think the inquest will stop abruptly when it looks at the scoring in some of those defeats, especially Rosie Eccles, the 66-kilo woman from South Wales. And I was close to tears when she didn't get the decision. I thought she not only won, I thought she won clearly. And I thought the Rosie Eccles decision was, in my opinion, the worst decision in Tokyo. That was worse than anything that happened in Tokyo, and it's certainly worse than anything that's happened here. We've had 199 here, so in nearly 500 contests, I think that's a standalone ridiculous decision. However, I also consider it an outlier. There's no sense or reason to it. I just think on that particular occasion, 3 judges just had, in my opinion, a very bad day at the office. It's hard to explain how Rosie Eccles is out. So had Rosie Eccles gone through, had Charlie Davison had the rub of the draw, had Delicious Ori won 3-2 instead of losing 3-2. I know there's a lot of ifs and buts, but I think that will do well when GB Boxing sits down in front of some kind of inquest or tribunal.
Cindy Ngamba from the refugee team who trains with Great Britain in action this afternoon as well.
Yeah, she's in action this afternoon. And I'll let you into a secret, chappers. We claim her. The IOC gave the BOA permission to allow the refugee boxer Cindy Ngamba, who's been part of the GB setup for about 4 or 5 years, to allow her to train alongside her teammates. And when I spoke to her after her victory, she was in tears. A lot of people have been crying around me this last 10 days or so, chappers. She was in tears, and she told me she rattled through everybody in the team and how much it meant to her and how long she'd known them and how much the GB team had changed and saved her life. And only at the end did she talk about the refugee team. She goes this afternoon at about 3 p.m. UK time, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, she's fighting a French woman. She should win, but the French get behind the French here. They don't wait for round 3. They start singing national anthems after 10 seconds. It's not quite what you and I experienced with Big Teddy the other day, chappers.
It was even better. Yes, not that I was there, but it was even better with Big Ted yesterday. They won he brought home the team medal for them.
I know. Who's writing these scripts? I mean, some French films were a little bit cliched. I'm a bit of a fan of them, to be perfectly honest with you. But this is clearly being scripted elsewhere. This is being outsourced because it's quite incredible what's happened. Yeah, Big Teddy. I'm hoping that next week when we go to Roland Garros, or as I've dubbed it, the posh place where they play tennis, which will be beautiful. When we go there, I'm hoping that Big Teddy makes a couple of appearances.
I tell you what, you can tell it's different doing the tennis. Jonathan Overhead's just got out some sushi. That doesn't happen when I'm doing the rugby league, I tell you.
It won't happen if you come to the tennis, because as you know, chappers, every lunchtime I'm off on a 2K walk to you-know-where, my friend.
Go and enjoy your meatballs. Steve Bunce, thank you very much. We'll keep an eye on what Cindy Ngamba does this afternoon. We're waiting for Djokovic and Alcaraz to come out here at Roland Garros. By the way, elsewhere today at the boxing, Yu Ting Lin has won her quarterfinals to guarantee at least a bronze at the Games. She is one of the 2 boxers competing in Paris, despite being banned from last year's World Championships by the IBA after she was reported to have failed gender eligibility tests. Let's go back to the action from earlier on today. Team GB's men losing to India in the hockey quarter-final. They couldn't capitalise, couldn't Britain, on India's red card in the second quarter. It went to a shootout and they lost 4-2, did Britain. David Amos, after the match, confirmed his retirement, and we can hear from him now.
Ultimately, one that is going to sting for a long time, because when you have a red card and you have an opportunity against 10 men for, 45 minutes maybe, I don't even know the situation. We just needed to capitalise on a couple of opportunities, and unfortunately we didn't, and the keeper played well and they defended really well with a low block, which seems to work at this level at the minute. And listen, it's going to sting and hurt for a long time, because that is a big opportunity miss for us, and there's not much more to add really there.
And you have played phenomenally through this tournament, but not just this tournament. As Great Britain, you've been building over a number of years, and you've got yourself to that rank number 2 in the world. Where do you go from here?
I take a back seat. Let some other young cubs come and enjoy the experience. The boys will regroup. We will debrief as we always do. Enjoy that. This is a special feeling and a special opportunity for these guys to be on the stage, and I'm very proud to have led this group. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
David Ames, after Britain went out to the hockey to India at the quarter-final stage on a shootout. Just 1 bronze so far for Britain today. That came from Lottie Fry in the individual dressage. So Britain have 5 equestrian medals in total here in Paris 2024. Waiting for Alcaraz and Djokovic to come out here at Roland Garros. So let's go to Conor McNamara and Victoria Pendleton with their eyes on the women's road race this afternoon.
Yes, they're just coming up to the starting line at Trocadero, right in front of the Eiffel Tower. This is the women's road race following on from the men's race yesterday. The women's course slightly short shorter, but pretty much the same idea. They will head out west of Paris, do a big loop around, back into the city, couple of circuits around those tight cobbled streets of Montmartre, and then they will dash down to the Seine and hopefully arrive for a big finish. Again, the sun is blazing, and this is going to look absolutely brilliant for everyone watching on television around the world, as very much the French Tourist Board take an opportunity to show off the plumage of the French capital.
The Victoria, I got on the metro at Trocadero this morning to come here to Roland Garros. There were Dutch everywhere. I mean, the Dutch have strength in depth for this road race, but the favourite is Belgium.
Yeah, that's right. I saw a lot of orange as well today, I have to say. There was a lot of people out supporting the Netherlands. But yes, Belgium, Lotte Kopecky. She's been the main rider that everyone has talked about over the last sort of 3 Olympics, I think, quite frankly. And she is probably by far the favourite going into this. She won the World Road Race, so all eyes will be on her. But all 3 medalists from the World Race in 2023, the Glasgow World Championships, are here racing today. So it's a big field, 93 riders in the peloton, so a big women's road race, and yeah, it should be exciting.
I mean, the British women would have some work to do, would they, to get on the podium?
They would definitely have some work to do, but there is a lot of talent here. We've got Anna Henderson. She came silver in the time trial. It may suit her taking an early attack, for example, and she's had some great results over the last couple of seasons. She's had a couple of second places in the UCI 2024 World Tour. And Lizzie Deignan, she's experienced. She's a silver medalist in the road race herself in London 2012. Yeah. She was there, and she was 5th in 2016 in Rio as well. She's an experienced racer too, so I think they have talent, they have experience. Who knows what can happen? It's a narrow course, people can get caught up in the mix, miss a move.
I mean, if Lotte Kopecky does win this, the Belgians have had a sensational games when it comes to the bikes on the road, haven't they?
They have. I mean, an incredibly strong cycling nation, and actually you're going to see quite a few of their supporters in the velodrome as well next week.
Yeah, Evenepoel, who won the men's race yesterday, has become the first Olympian to ever win the time trial and the men's road race, and that's both at any individual games or even over multiple games. No one's ever done that before.
They're underway, are they?
Underway.
They are neutralised at the moment. They have a neutralised start that just takes them down past the start of the loop they'll come back to later, so they get to have a nice parade out of Paris and give everyone an opportunity to see them at a more reasonable pace, because they come past like lightning later on.
I walked past this starting point earlier on today, and you could see people getting into position. What's lovely about this particular event, of all the things taking place at the Olympic Games, because it's not just on a track in a stadium, because it's over the whole city, people can get their spots and get a view of this. This is one competition where you will see the action really up close, and throughout the streets of Paris on this Sunday morning, they are afternoon at this stage, they are lining the streets, and they're able to look in as that brilliantly colourful peloton makes its way down the southern bank of the Seine.
Connor, Vic, thank you very much, and if you get a chance to see the finish a little bit later on, maybe you see it on social media, you might see it on the television, or you might see it on the iPlayer. The finish is stunning because it takes place with the Eiffel Tower right in the background as the competitors come over the finish line. Here at Roland Garros, we are ready for the players to come out. The crowd, Jonathan Overend, have just seen them both in the tunnel, and that got a big cheer, and now they're coming up the steps, and we are almost ready for the gold medal match to get underway.
Yeah, it's sending shivers down my back seeing these pictures behind the scenes, because they leave their coaches, they leave their support staff, they head off to the players' box, and you're just left with 2 competitors. Alcaraz is going to be introduced first, then Djokovic, 2 of the very best in the world. I mean, Yannick Sinner is the man at the top of the world rankings at the moment, the Italian who won the Australian Open at the start of the year and has had such a fabulous season. But Djokovic is the all-time greatest in terms of numbers in the men's game, and Alcaraz is the heir apparent, already with 4 Grand Slams to his name at the age of 21. Here he comes, Alcaraz. Spanish flags flying all around us. He steps out into the sunshine. It could be Murcia in southern Spain, but it is the western side of Paris, onto a court where just a few weeks ago he was winning the French Open. Oh, and then he went to Wimbledon and won that as well. And today he could complete the triple crown of this incredible Alcaraz summer by winning the Olympic gold. But here comes next the man who perhaps wants it even more. The 24-time Grand Slam singles champion, ahead of Federer, ahead of Nadal. He's won 24 Grand Slam titles when his two main rivals have been the two previous best players of all time. It's unbelievable what this man has achieved in the sport, and today he could top it all. He could cap the career, if you like, by completing the Golden Slam, and he looks like he really means business as Djokovic strides out onto the court. Djokovic against Alcaraz for Olympic gold in Paris.
Agassi, Graf, Serena Williams and Rafael Nadal, they're the four who've won all four majors and an Olympic gold medal. Will Novak Djokovic add his name to that list, or, as Jonathan said, will Carlos Alcaraz add Olympic gold to French Open and Wimbledon titles in one season? They're just getting ready to do the toss and shake hands. We'll have plenty more from here. We'll keep you up to date on the golf as well, where John Rahm and Xander Schauffele are on 16 under. Hideki Matsuyama and Tommy Fleetwood are on 15 under. Scotty Scheffler and Nikolai Højgaard are on 13 under. It's going to be a dramatic afternoon of sport. You're listening to 5 Live, 4 minutes past 1. Here's Beth Ann Holmes.